919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. 919-381-1760.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS consumeraccess.org.
And the best artist with the best new scratch-offs, Mr. First Tuesday!
Wow. I'm so proud my music is bringing luck and joy to so many people. First, I'd like to thank those who invented the calendar, and to all the First Tuesdays many years ago, and to all scratchers out there. No matter if you use your nail or a coin, we all share the same First Tuesday love. First Tuesday kisses to you all.
New scratch-offs every first Tuesday of the month.
Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
June is Men's Health Month, and to learn more, we're joined by Dr. Ashish Patel, an electrophysiologist with Wake Med Heart and Vascular. So you specialize in complex arrhythmias. Aren't they all complex when it comes to the heart?
Absolutely. They're all complex. Really, the terminology is referred to the fact that we provide specialty procedures for these arrhythmias. And as an electrician of the heart, what we will do is sometimes perform procedures like ablation, or pacemakers, defibrillators, various types of procedures to help patients.
Atrial fibrillation, or AFib, is commonly diagnosed as an arrhythmia issue. Does it affect men or women more frequently?
I mean, the distribution of AFib is fairly equal both men and women. And what we found is that in patients with atrial fibrillation, they have several types of symptoms, and it leads to a lot of problems. So we always have patients recommend that they get checked up for AFib.
Lot to learn. Thank you, Dr. Patel. To learn more, check out Wake Med Heart and Vascular at wakemed.org.
Helping kids find their place, stay safe, and learn is the most fulfilling job imaginable. Be part of that journey with the Wake County Public School System. Now hiring bus drivers, mechanics, and instructional assistants, and offering competitive salaries, attractive benefits including retirement, and opportunities to grow. Whether you want a flexible job driving buses, maintaining and repairing them, or a rewarding position helping teachers, you'll love working for the largest school district in North Carolina. Apply now at careers.wcpss.net and discover a place where anything is possible.
Get bonus days to save during Window Nation's semi-annual sale now through June 30th. Get 50% off all windows along with no interest for 5 years, plus a bonus 10% savings when you schedule an estimate at 866-90NATION or windownation.com.
This hour of buzzer-beating, nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat sports action on 99.9 The Fan is powered by
Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Visit GotBryan.com.
That's GotBryan.com. WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs. This is the Adam Gold Show.
42 seconds on the power play. Hyman in the slot. He scores! Zach Hyman. In the dead slot, a forehand wrister set up by Connor McDavid. He goes right to the roof with that one. 2-0 Edmonton. 3 seconds left. They've waited 18 years. They get it. The Edmonton Oilers are Western Conference champions. They are on their way to the Stanley Cup final for the first time since 2006.
It's the Adam Gold Show. What's up, everybody? I'm Adam Gold. Victoria's here. Hope everybody's weekend was glorious.
It was faster than last weekend.
Yes, shorter.
Yes.
By, I don't know how to do the math, shorter by a third?
Yes.
Is that it?
Be a third. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it was still a good weekend and a great night for the good folks in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday as they finished off the Dallas Stars in 6 games, and I still cannot believe the goal. We'll talk about it. The Connor McDavid goal that made it 1-0 was just
crazy.
Whatever. I have no words for it. We'll try to find them. But the Edmonton Oilers, for the first time since 2006, in spite of the fact that they have had really the best player on the planet for the last, was it 7 years, 8 years?
Yeah, a long time.
I have to go.
7.
I mean, I have a way of figuring this out, and I will. But they have not only had the best player, but a top 5 player along with him.
Right, Draisaitl.
And they haven't been able to figure out how to get to at least the finals since 2006. So
hard to win.
It is very, very difficult to win. We'll talk about some of those things as well. There's a lot of college baseball, and in fact, East Carolina and Evansville are underway in Greenville right now with a spot in Knoxville on the line. So the winner will go to Knoxville. The loser will either stay or go home. North Carolina will play later on today. Among the locals that are in action, NC State.
Showing up.
Feet up. Just watching. Just watching. Good for Elliott Avent and his crew. Didn't go as well for Chris Pollard and Duke. But we'll talk about that. And the Tar Heels have a big one tonight against LSU. And we'll get into that coming up in a few minutes with Dave Nathan, who is the voice of UNC baseball. But let's get going. All right, let's get it started. And by the way, look at that. Connor McDavid has one more year left on a contract that pays him $12.5 million. That doesn't seem like how much higher can you go?
I know.
Right? How much higher can you go?
Can one person?
So he is. Gosh, he's been in the league a while. 15-16 was his first year. So next year. He will have been. Next year will be his 10th year.
Yeah.
So 9 years in the league.
And he's still super young. He's only like 27 or something like that, or 28. I mean, yeah.
He's going to get a bigger contract next year.
I know.
Yeah, he just turned 27 just in January. So 27 and a half.
Right.
At that age, do you still do half years? At what age do you stop doing half years?
That's a good question. I feel like you should be past that once you get into double digits.
Yeah, I agree. Like. Jack doesn't even say he's 15 and a half. Well, he's almost 16 now, so.
Right. So. Yeah, 16 going on 28-9, maybe? I don't know.
It all depends on the situation.
Yeah.
It really does depend on the situation. When it comes to picking up your clothes off the floor?
Oh, yeah, definitely 16. Maybe 12, yeah.
12. Yeah. All right, let's get to what happened last night. So we have our Stanley Cup Finals, and apart from not having the Carolina Hurricanes, I am not sure that we could have a better matchup.
Oh, so excited.
Right? Unless you are ESPN and ABC and you're thinking about television ratings, because one, Edmonton and other Canadian markets are not measurable to ESPN. And two, you don't have an original six. You don't have a traditional hockey market like Pittsburgh, who's not an original six, but hockey mad.
Right.
Buffalo would be better. Colorado.
Oh, yeah.
No offense. Florida, not necessarily an eyeball bringer.
Yeah, that Southern State team.
Right.
What do they know about hockey?
But in terms of the hockey.
Right.
I've been saying this for a long time. I've always thought Florida was the best team, and they played like it against the Rangers. And you have the best player. I mean...
Oh, it's exciting. It should be good.
Nobody has McDavid.
No.
Just only one team can get him.
You can't replicate him.
No, and I know we have Connor Bedard. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I know.
Good player.
He is.
Good player. Nobody's knocking him. And nobody's knocking the Nathan McKinnons of the world or... the Artemi Panarins or the Austin Matthews. There's one guy like Connor McDavid, and he is a freak show.
Yeah, he at least has parts to help him, too. That's like Connor Bedard's problem. He doesn't have a lot of help on that team. McKinnon does have help on
McKinnon definitely does. So the goal that McDavid scored last night on the power play, which frankly to call that a power play goal is a joke because it had nothing to do with being on the power play. Because McDavid skated around three players and brought the puck. He put the puck in a place where I didn't know you could still be moving forward when you he dragged the puck behind him. But his stick was still in front of him.
Yeah.
But the puck was, I don't get it. Like physics.
I'd like to see how he practiced shots like that.
Physics went, huh?
Yeah.
Is that really possible? And then he backhanded it upstairs over Jake Ottinger's glove hand. It was absolute. And it wasn't like there were bad players. Sam Steele good penalty killer. Miro Heiskanen is one of the best defenders in the entire league. Wyatt Johnston, a great player, but he looked like he wasn't sure where the puck was. Heiskanen was looking the other way.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're going this? Wait, no, where'd you go?
Yeah.
McDavid is not small. You can't lose him.
No.
It was stunning
But it's
how
hard.
amazing.
It's hard to defend
So-
shots like that. Woo.
He's a video game to me.
Yeah, he is.
That's what he's just a video game. It's like, how do you do that?
Yeah. Oh, he would never shoot it there. Oh, wait, he did shoot it there.
I mean,
Okay.
and even I think you could see if you're watching his teammates skate away, you could see. I forget which one and who it was. They kind of looked at each other, and went, "Yeah, I can't."
Yeah, can't even
Like I can't. I'm
explain
so
this.
glad we don't have to play against that.
Yeah.
That's
Glad he's
but he
on
is
our
a video game. But he gets to play in the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time in his career.
I mean, there's been lots of growing pains for sure. Lots of lessons along the way, and obviously it feels good. It feels great to be in this position. This was always part of the plan, and feels good to be here today.
Yes, it does.
He's such a good leader too. In some of his
plays
press, post-press conferences and stuff, he like sticks up for his guys too.
Yep.
So yeah, it's hard not to root for him.
He is exceptional. By the way, before we want to mention a couple of more things here, but here's the thing about Dallas not making it to the Stanley Cup Finals. All the questions that were asked about Carolina. Well, they can't do this, they can't do this. Now, Dallas has been to the Stanley Cup Finals before. They were in the bubble. They were the finalist from the Western Conference. They played Tampa in Edmonton in the bubble and lost to Tampa. That was the first of Tampa's runs. But this Dallas team had everything Carolina's team had. Every single thing that Carolina's team had, Dallas had, except they were bigger.
Yes.
And they had better goaltending.
Yes.
I wonder if those same questions are being asked about the Dallas Stars. How come? I don't know. Maybe it's just as simple as Connor McDavid. But, man, the Dallas Stars, their best players did not play well.
No. It got worse as the series went on,
Right.
too.
And when Wyatt Johnston when his scoring petered out, their offense fell off a cliff.
Yeah.
So they got basically nothing out of Rope Hintz.
Robertson showed up for one game in the series.
One game, Joe Pavelski did almost nothing.
Yes.
Not great going into a free agent year when you know you can still score, right? They didn't get much out of Jamie Benn. Not that Ben is a big scorer, but there are a lot of questions for the Dallas Stars to answer in the offseason. And that is a great, great team. And Edmonton is not they have a great power play. They have three of the best players on earth because we'll throw Zach Hyman in there,
for
right?
sure.
But after that, it's not that great.
No.
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, a dynamite player. I don't want to leave him out. But
Yeah.
Evan Bouchard is a great offensive player on the blue line. After that, it's just not a great team.
Evander Kane's not at his peak like he was before, so
He's
yeah.
well on the back nine of everything there. But I'm telling you, they're so good. I don't know how, in terms of their stars, it's going to be hard for Florida to contain them.
Yeah,
but
they're tricky.
Oh, my gosh. It's going to be fun. Can't wait. We have to wait until Saturday for that.
I hate that. We have to go all week.
Right. Well, I mean, and we had two long series. We would have had a game 7 tonight with the Rangers and the Panthers, and we would have had a game 7 tomorrow. So, yeah, I can see going to Saturday. But, man, now we got a whole week. Just like the NBA, we had an entire week of no basketball.
Yeah.
All right, so the Canes are going through the process of finding a replacement for Don Waddell. So here's how, before I get into it, here's how Jeff Merrick of Sportsnet in Canada and 32 Thoughts, the podcast, that he essentially is the moderator with Elliot Friedman. And Friedman is the information guy. Merrick is more of the broadcaster, moderator of it. And they go back and forth all the time. Here's Merrick with his thoughts on 32 Thoughts, the podcast, on the Canes GM search.
I heard this from someone who did not interview, but knows a couple people who did. And that is that the Hurricanes are making sure everyone's eyes are wide open about how this is all going to work. And that is that whoever gets this job is going to be the manager, but they're not going to have the power. That this job is going to be as a facilitator, somebody who collects information and brings it to the other members of the front office, well, including Tom Dundon, who obviously has a huge say. Yeah. But Eric Tulsky, Darren York, whoever's going to fulfill, Aaron Schwartz, whoever's going to be part of that front office. But the new GM hire is not going to have the final say. And what this person told me is that that some people have kind of backed away from the process because of this, that this is not going to be a traditional job.
All right. Now, that was Elliot Friedman from 32 Thoughts, the podcast on the Canes GM search. Here's the thing. This is exactly the reason why Don Waddell became president and general manager 6 years ago. Exactly the reason. Because the Hurricanes had just come off the firing of Ron Francis. The previous season, in the 2017-2018 season, when Tom Dundon became the owner midway through, they ultimately fired Ron Francis. And in that offseason, they were going through the process of trying to find a replacement general manager. And they had trouble finding that because Tom Dundon's front office style is not one guy in charge makes the decisions. Well, I mean, other than Tom Dundon. It is more of a collaboration. And that was the way it was always set up to be, which is why the first time they went through the GM search, they couldn't find a GM. GMs were interested because Carolina had a lot of good young players, but none of them were interested because they weren't traditional, decision makers. They were just part of it. And I said this the day Don Waddell left, is that Carolina's going to have to replace Don Waddell because the benefit of Don Waddell, in my opinion, was his ability to network around the league. And that Carolina needs somebody to network around the NHL as a liaison, if you will. So it isn't so much about finding a GM. I'm pretty sure Eric Tulsky will be the next general manager. But because of the way they're structured, it's going to be very difficult to find somebody who is connected around the league, who is willing to accept the job as GM without A, more decision-making power, and B, without the contract and compensation that goes along with being a general manager. Not to mention, you got to find a guy who wants to do the business side.
Yeah.
They have to do that. Now, when I did a podcast on this a couple of weeks ago, week and a half ago, with Corey Lavalette. And Corey believes that the chief marketing officer for the Hurricanes, Mike Foreman, who we've had on this show a couple of times, and is a dynamite human being, aside from the fact that he's a public Jets fan.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. It's a character flaw.
We have to talk Aaron Rodgers then with him.
Character flaw. But that Corey believes that he'll be elevated to the post of team president. And I am here to tell you that would be an amazing choice. He is as impressive a person as I know. But now you need the other part of that. The GM, the more liaison around the league, it's going to be more difficult for Carolina to find. All right, we have college baseball coming up tonight. We have it going on right now, actually, East Carolina and Evansville. We'll give you an update on that in a little bit. But Dave Nathan, play-by-play man for the UNC Tar Heels. We've got Carolina and LSU for, the third time this weekend now? Are you excited?
Yeah, it feels like we've done this a time or two before, Adam, and it's going to be just the third, well, make that the fourth time that Carolina's ever faced the same team 3 times in the same regional.
Well, that isn't a super regional, because that would make a lot more sense because there's only 2 teams there, and it's a best of 3. But, yeah, this is now, how does Carolina's pitching set up, and what scares you about LSU's offense?
Well, the pitching is going to be the great and unknown, maybe up until about 5 o'clock when both coaches have to release their lineups. I was asking about the starting pitching earlier today, and I was told, don't hold your breath. I think everybody's keeping their cards pretty close to their vest. And for Carolina, I think you certainly have more arms available for longer amounts of time than if you're LSU. The question is, do you go to a typical type of starter like maybe Jason DeCaro, who I think threw 65 pitches on Friday against Long Island over the course of 4 innings? Could he come back? Maybe you go to a guy like Ben Peterson, who started the season in the weekend rotation but has been more of a bullpen guy down the stretch. Those would be, I think, the top 2 names that you're considering if you're Coach Forbes and Coach Gaines. And if you're LSU, Gage Jump and Luke Holman, your top 2 studs, are probably out. But does Ackenhausen, who started the Wofford game early yesterday and left after less than an inning, does he come back on short rest? I mean, at the end of the day, both teams have to win for their seasons to go on. Both programs have dreams of getting to Omaha, and one of these teams isn't getting to the Super Regional, so I think you've got to have all hands on deck tonight.
Is there Dave Nathan is joining us, play-by-play UNC baseball here on the Adam Gold Show. Is there any carryover? Is there anything that even resembles momentum in favor of LSU after yesterday's 8-4 win?
Well, I mean, LSU came into yesterday needing to win twice just to get to today, and that was a monumental task to beat a Wofford team that took you to the brink in the opener. And after falling behind 5-0 in the first inning, LSU went on to win 13-6. So the Tigers had to feel great about themselves coming back into the North Carolina game. And I always wonder about how the team that just won the last game comes out of the gates, and LSU got a 2-run homer in the first and then put up a 4 spot in the fourth to go up 7-1 and led by as many as 7 runs after 5. So LSU had a lot of momentum. Now, at the end of the game, Carolina had opportunities time and again, left 10 runners stranded on base in the final 4 innings, and then had the tying run at the plate in the 9th, down 8-4. So, if you're Carolina, the calling card has always been after a game like that, you want to get right back out there and play again. We got to wait till 6 o'clock to do it. And you know this, Adam, you've been on the road before, waiting around in a hotel all day long to go out and play. I don't think that helps LSU, but this is a coin flip game.
Yeah, and there's no question. I mean, LSU, it hasn't even seemed to me like they've really hit their stride either. Like we could be in for something great, but this is this in some ways like the Sunday game of a mid-season series when teams are you're down to just bullpen guys, and I mean this could be crazy Sunday college baseball.
I mean, I think it's way crazier than that. Sunday you oftentimes expect a bunch of runs because the arms are wearing a little bit thin and the teams are a little more familiar with one another. But again, the great equalizer in a game like this is that in no way, shape, or form would Carolina dare throw a guy on Sunday that pitched on Friday. I think you have to have the thought that's in play here, and it's probably in play for both teams. The Tar Heels bullpen, I feel like, is a little more intact, having not used Dalton Pence yesterday or Matthew Mateus yesterday or Matt Poston yesterday. I mean, those are 3 studs that can chew up a bunch of innings, but I just think it's so important the start that you get off to in this game. And LSU, again, yesterday showed that the start you get off to doesn't matter at the end of the day. And the old phrase has been tossed out there time and again this year. You can overcome a shaky start, but you cannot overcome a shaky bullpen. I think the one big separator in this game, if we're talking right now, 6 hours before it gets started, Carolina has to have the better bullpen if it wants to win this game.
Well, theoretically, they should, having played one fewer game than LSU yesterday and having only played 3 times so far through through the first 3 days of the regional. Dave Nathan, UNC baseball radio play-by-play, is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. We'll let you go in a second here. Why wouldn't Scott Forbes think about just bullpenning this game and give me one or two of my best guys, let them throw 2 innings each at the start, and hope you can get off to a good start?
It's a good point. I just wonder, pitchers being creatures of habit, is it safer just to start a guy that's accustomed to being in that role? And I hate to flash back to 2019 in the Auburn Super Regional when the Tigers hung 13 in the first inning on Carolina against a typical bullpen guy, and that game was off the rails before it got started. I mean, that's not to second-guess the decision at all, because Carolina certainly had its reasons for doing that. But in this game, I feel like you've got maybe some more options to tinker with, and the routine of starting a guy that's been used to that all season long, and then maybe just getting through the first 2 or 3 innings and then handing it off to your bullpen, which can piece things together with the guys that I referenced earlier. If you're asking me, and nobody else has, Adam, you're the first guy, that's the consideration that I would take most into account.
All right, final thing for Dave Nathan. The player who is due to break out, who has had opportunities that hasn't maybe been able to come through.
Well, there's no doubt Anthony D'Onofrio has come through in a big way. He finished reaching base 4 times yesterday, had 3 RBIs, and has been Carolina's most consistent player throughout the postseason, going back to Charlotte last week when he was on the all-tournament team at the ACC Baseball Championship. Vance Honeycutt's trying to bounce back after an 0-for-5 outing yesterday. We all know he's got the potential to do that. Casey Cook's only base hit came in the 9th. He's got to put things together. He's Carolina's most consistent and complete hitter. And then there's Luke Stevenson towards the middle of the order. Big-time freshman players, had some pop throughout the course of the season. He's been held to roughly singles throughout the course of this series. So top to bottom, Carolina's got the more complete lineup. If they get on base, they can attack LSU more than the Tigers would ever think about attacking Carolina. But starting pitching for LSU has been awful good. Even though Carolina got to Luke Holman in the first game, he still went 6 2/3. And then Thatcher Hurd was one of the most sought-after prospects in the entire country coming out of high school. He had put up pedestrian numbers before he retired 11 in a row to start the game yesterday and got through 5 2/3. So Carolina has to find a way to attack the starting pitcher for LSU and get into the pen.
Well, it's going to be fun. The Sunday unpredictability of all of it, the third game of a 3-game series. And this is, even though there were games kind of inserted in there in the way, the third game of the 3-game series between LSU and North Carolina. Dave Nathan, I appreciate your time. Have a good broadcast today. We'll talk to you soon.
Yep, appreciate your interest. Enjoy the ball game.
You got it. Dave Nathan on air on Twitter. And by the way, in Greenville right now, Evansville with a 1-0 lead. Top of the second inning over the Pirates. ECU's trying to book a spot in Knoxville, as is Evansville, by the way. Carolina and LSU are playing for a 5th spot for their respective conference in the Super Regional. Now, the SEC has another shot at a 5th team with Florida still playing. I forget who Florida's playing against. I think it might be Oklahoma State. I think they're in Stillwater. But if Carolina can get that spot, then they will have 5 ACC teams in the Super Regionals, 5 of the 16, and the SEC could also get 5. But that's a big one in conference versus conference matchup. SEC versus ACC, baby. All right, when we come back, Matt Brown, extra points. I have talked some about the NCAA and the settlement in the House case, but we'll get Matt Brown's thoughts on what it really means going forward for big-time athletic factories in college. Next.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Do you think it's fair to say that regardless, Anthony Edwards has already taken that moniker face of the league and run with it? I guess when I think about it, I think of regardless of the matchup, is this person who I'm going to revolve my night around? Am I going to say, oh, Luka's playing, I need to make sure that I'm sitting down to watch this game? Because I feel that way about Ant.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, and we want you to swing for the fences with America's #1 sportsbook, because with Dinger Tuesdays, I love that name, you can turn dingers into dollars all season long. Bet on your favorite player to rip a moonshot. FanDuel will give you $5 in bonus bets for every homer during that game. That's right, home runs just got a little bit better, even though they're already amazing. And by the way, Gunnar Henderson for the Orioles tonight in Toronto, plus 450 to go deep. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. Get in on all of the Dinger Tuesday action. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Must be 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max bonus $25 per game. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing, made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories, all without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver, all the taste, no bitter endings. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew, 30 seconds, that's it. Done. Peace.
Golfers, Global Golf is home to Carolina's largest selection of pre-owned golf gear. This week, receive 20% off any pre-owned golf gear purchase of $600 or more. Now is the time to trade in and update your current golf clubs with Global Golf's 15% trade-in bonus. And don't miss getting the perfect gift for Dad with Father's Day around the corner at Global Golf. Located in North Raleigh at 7320 ACC Boulevard. Global Golf, home to the best deals in golf.
Remarkable change begins with daring to be different. Baby, I'm on a mission with Boost Mobile, putting the latest phones in the hands of more people. Introducing the Signature Coach Prime Razor, only from Boost Mobile. Rush to your nearest Boost Mobile retailer and get your Signature Coach Prime Razor on us. Get after it.
When you switch in with ID verification, select plans only. Offer valid 4/19/24 through 5/23/24. While supplies last. Taxes extra. New customers only. Must remain active and in good standing on the $60 a month plan for 6 months to receive all credits. Offer subject to change.
Jake from State Farm. I'm winning. I finally cleaned my house, so I'm breaking out my new tropical room spray.
Keep winning and create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It's like your own personal paradise.
Ooh, hey, grab me a coconut water.
Bundling, just another way to save with a personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
This is Adam Gold.
Thank you very much for your time, man. We will talk again.
Adam, anytime for you, my friend.
Thank you. I don't know why it makes me laugh. Why does that make me laugh?
I don't know. Maybe you just are used to people being mean to you or something, like Twitter. I don't know.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. We have talked about House versus the NCAA, I think mostly from a legal protection standpoint. I have not really delved into the actual mechanism, how it's going to work, what it's going to do to athletic departments. I have mostly gone, They really think that lawsuits are going to stop? Okay, fine. They insist that they will. Proof will be in the long-term, pudding, I guess. Matt Brown from Extra Points. It's a newsletter you should get if you are interested in the workings of college athletics. And you have written, this was not my intent to talk about this, but I'm going to ask you this question. You've written 7,000 words on the video game?
Yeah, I think it was 2 weeks ago. I went down to Orlando to play it. I got a chance to interview a couple of the developers, and God bless the internet, right? Because I'm not a video game reporter.
Right.
Like, I'm glad to have written about this topic. I'm interested in it too, but the fan interest and every tiny bit of minutia about this game is so massive. Listen, if like an AD or an agent tried to DM me in the past week, there's no way I saw it because I've got 700 DMs in there from people like, hey, appreciate all these words, not paying to read them. Here's a question I have about shadows. Here's the question I have. Does the concession stand at Louisiana Monroe blue or green? Thanks. I'll take my answer off the air. And I'm doing my best to meet this need. It's a process.
Unbelievable. I'm surprised you answered my DM. Matt Brown is joining us here from Extra Points at Matt Brown EP on Twitter. I think the last time we spoke, I had one question about it. I just like alternate uniforms and things like that. But I don't want to get into that. Let's get into House versus the NCAA and the settlement, which, for those people who don't know, will allow schools now to directly pay players. So I just want to get to the basics of this, which is, and the thing is, it's part penalty and it's part forward thinking, which in and of itself is a departure for the NCAA. What will the impact be on, let's just go NIL? Because theoretically, it shouldn't have an impact on NIL, but because I think schools should probably let those stay outside of their umbrella. But what will be the impact of NIL?
I do think there's going to be some impact, honestly, and that impact is probably going to differ a little bit from market to market. But the way that most NIL collectives are operating right now, whether you're at Carolina or Duke or Pitt or High Point,
right,
is you are disproportionately depending on donors to give money that's independent of any commercial activity to either encourage people to stay or encourage people to transfer or join your program. And even from there, they're mostly heavily reliant on a small number of donors per program. And in a place like a really competitive ACC basketball market,
right,
and an SEC football market, some other places, I don't think it matters what the base salary or base stipend from the school is. People are so competitive that they'll give whatever it takes unless there's a CBA that tells them not to.
Right.
But I don't know if that's universal. I don't know if you're going to be able to go to the 8 very rich people at Minnesota and hit them up for money if those football players are making, hypothetically, a base stipend of $100,000 from the school. I think that some of those people will say, I'm not interested in giving there. I'd rather give my money someplace tax deductible. I'd rather give it to a facility or perhaps somewhere in the institution. And if that happens at just a handful of places, that will drive prices for talent down. The NCAA is kind of leaking, although they haven't really come out with the hard and fast concrete updates about how they want to do this yet. But they would like to go after more of these collectives, to regulate this market a little bit more. And depending on what happens in Congress, depending what happens with this lawsuit being enshrined, they might have a little bit more legal wiggle room to actually enforce any of these things. They might not. It's uncertain, which is a long and terrible sports radio way of saying there's so many unknowns.
Right.
I don't think it's going to be completely business as usual. But there's going to be some collectives that still exist.
Matt Brown is joining us from Extra Points at Matt Brown EP on Twitter. The interesting thing for me is that, first of all, this hasn't been approved yet, right? We still have to cross over that obstacle, assuming it does get approved, because you alluded to the NCAA they still want true NIL. They are no closer to being able to police that tomorrow than they were yesterday or 5 years ago or 10 years ago. So why would they Why would they even try?
Well, I mean, they want to try because their constituent groups are asking them to. This current system right now makes everything much harder for coaches. It makes everything much harder for ADs. We toss around the word unsustainable a lot, but whether you're an AD or an agent or somebody that works in this world for a living, the smart money is the amount of money being thrown around for talent is going to go down. It's already going down in the football world. A lot of brands set their money on fire the first 18 months and began to claw things back a little bit. And the ability to regulate this market produces more predictability, more structure, more stability, and you can plan around it, which nobody really can right now. There is a chance that when, or I should say if, because it very much isn't a sure thing, that this is all approved and codified, that there may be a little bit more wiggle room here. The other bet the NCAA is really making is, hey, once we do this settlement, it's going to be easier for us to go to Congress and say, essentially, protect this settlement with law. And if Republicans win the White House and take back the Senate, they have a much higher chance of being able to pull that off.
All right. This is where I push back because I don't believe that there's – I think they would think that there is a better chance, and I guess better chance is relative to no chance. Better chance at like 1% versus 0% of you being able to get something through Congress where you get enough people there that either A, have a clue what they're voting on, or B, being able to get enough people to agree on something. Because I think that the voice of Brett Kavanaugh, of all people, I think resonates through everybody. That how have you been getting away with this over the course of the last however many years? This seems illegal to me. I just don't know how you're going to convince Congress to do it. To me, this is something the NCAA has to just simply do on their own.
Well, the problem is they can't really do it on their own anymore. And legitimately, even if the NCAA said, even if, Bubba Cunningham goes and gives a press conference in a few hours that says, we're done pretending any of this is amateurism.
Right.
We're ready to negotiate. We're ready to start paying stipends. Let's get a CBA. They probably still need Congress to go help push for some changes in labor law definitions so they can find some kind of cohesive negotiating body to sign a deal with across different states, or to get some kind of federal protection of who's going to be in that group and who isn't. The cynical bet, and I don't want this to sound overly partisan here on the radio, but okay. I think that the bet that's being made from the NCAA is, okay, let's say Trump wins again. We got 53, 54 Republican senators, slightly larger Republican majority in the House.
Right.
We don't need everybody to agree. We need a couple of people who are already to lead committees who are already sympathetic to the NCAA's message. And they have that right now. Ted Cruz and Tommy Tuberville are pushing to essentially protect what the NCAA has here and to claw back on this particular labor market. You only really need 5 or 6 of those people, and then you have to decide, is this going to be the hill that all of these other Democrats die on to try and stop this? And the answer to that, I think, is no, because there's really only about 12 Democrats that really, really care about it. And once, regardless of what Kavanaugh says, if individual lawmakers realize, hey, the flagship university in my district or in my state is pushing for this, and if I codify this, I also smack down organized labor. Yeah, I think that's going to get passed by everybody, even if most people don't really understand it. Now, will Republicans sweep all 3 branches? Maybe, maybe not. I certainly wouldn't call that an overwhelmingly likely outcome. We already know how difficult it is to get things passed just through this current Republican caucus. The next cycle might be even crazier. But that's the bet, and it's very difficult for the NCAA period to figure out a long-term way out of perpetually being sued without the federal government. Whether that's a Democratic solution, a Republican solution, a labor solution, an antitrust solution, there almost certainly does have to be something, as frustrating as that is for everybody.
Yeah, what would be best for all parties, even for the individual universities, would be a collectively bargained solution to this. But they seem to be completely against ever going down that route, even though that's the way to do this properly. But I understand what you're saying, Matt Brown. Final thing. Schools that aren't in the Power 2, the SEC or the Big Ten, for those people who don't know what I'm talking about. They're in a very different position because of the penalty phase of this, because of the monies that have to be paid out, the monies that have to be further set aside. And I guess you don't have to set them aside, but how many competitive organizations are going to willingly put themselves significantly behind competitively by not providing salaries to high-level athletes? I mean, how do you describe the difference between, let's just use North Carolina or NC State from the ACC and Georgia from the SEC?
I think when it comes to complying with this settlement, I don't think there's a major difference. North Carolina will probably have to make more painful cuts, but not even necessarily towards athletes, right? Where I think you're going to see that the cuts in the beginning are going to be in headcount. I think a lot of administrators are going to lose their jobs. A lot of people are going to have their salaries renegotiated, and then moving forward, there will be a clawing back or resetting of head coach and assistant coach salaries elsewhere. Like if there's this much money being distributed, Kirby Smart's going to make his money, but you're not going to have a world where the worst coach in the SEC makes $6.5–7 million a year. Like it's going to more closely resemble the pay curve of the NFL. I'll tell you where there are huge differences. I want to use my words carefully here, but I do think this is important for fans to understand. What this settlement is causing right now are even bigger tensions and fissures between all the leagues that don't sponsor football or that are sponsoring FCS football and everybody else. Because not only does the Big Sky and the Coastal Athletic and the SWAC and everybody else have to pay a disproportionate share of these penalties, but they weren't involved in the negotiating process.
Right.
And what is going to happen at NACDA next week and at conference meetings over the next couple of weeks and at hotel bars and in text messages between ADs and commissioners and presidents is that many of these leagues are going to at least have the conversation about what is the red line now for us wanting to continue to be a part of the NCAA. A lot of the conversation's always been about whenever the Big Ten and the SEC break away. That's one thing. But if you are High Point and you realize or if you're Campbell and you realize that being a part of the NCAA means that you are going to be liable for continual legal exposure for North Carolina, and there's no way in the organization that you can vote to protect yourself from that, where is the red line for when you decide, you know what, this isn't worth the occasional 14-seat upset anymore?
Yeah.
It's and look to do something else. I don't think we're there yet, but people are having that talk now. And that's not a crazy sports radio message board hypothetical. That's a real thing that this settlement has really kind of brought to bear here. The anger, at that level, is profound.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about it last week. If you're the Big East, if you're Villanova, if you're Gonzaga, and you have nothing to do with what happened here. It's just it's a very difficult thing, and I think even to bring it to the smaller conferences, it's probably even more glaring because they have no. They're not gaining the monies from the NCAA, and of course they're also sending you less money for those schools that do well. Those conferences that do well in the basketball tournament. Matt Brown, at Matt Brown EP. All right, go back, play a video game, and we will talk to you again very soon, my man. I appreciate your time.
You bet. Hey, listen, and I appreciate you for praying. Maybe we're the only radio host in the country that's going to call me right now and says, yeah, I know you played the video game. I want to talk about labor law. God bless you for that.
All right. Well, thank you very much. That was a backhanded compliment, I think. But that's good.
No, I mean that with deep love in my heart because, I'm happy to talk about physics animations too, but this is how I actually make my money.
All right, good.
Yeah, I'm happy to talk about.
Glad to help. Thanks, man. Take care.
Okay, you bet. Take care.
All right, Matt Brown, EP, at Matt Brown, EP on Twitter. This is the stuff that fascinates me. I'm not afraid to admit I could care less about the video game. I have never played it. I'm not saying you shouldn't care. That's not the point. It's just never been anything that I'm interested in. I am fascinated by other people's interest in it, and I have my own questions about the realism, and I've seen what it looks like, and it's stunning. If you are into that, man, this is one of the greatest things ever, and I know how many of you out there are pumped up to get it. But I don't care. I'll never play it.
Yeah.
Right? Just
That's okay.
Never been something that I've done.
Yeah.
But that's
I mean,
like,
I'm all in on Super Mario Brothers, but that's usually the extent.
there you go. Atari. Now, if we were talking about Atari
Right.
or ColecoVision, that would be another thing.
Pac-Man,
Oh, yeah.
Galaga,
Absolutely.
all of them.
We have one-timers coming up. We will question and answer ourselves into the second hour next.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Virtual healthcare is changing the way that traditional medicine is being delivered. Ironically, treating some people from afar is actually increasing access to medical health. Dr. Matt Anderson is with Charlotte-based Advocate Health, a member of the North Carolina Healthcare Association. He says telehealth is enhancing the ability of doctors and nurses to treat more people in better ways.
What we've really tried to do is build out that infrastructure from a virtual standpoint to enable us to better impact the health of our communities in a more convenient, simple, and easy way.
Learn how telehealth methodologies are not only saving people money, but how virtual medicine is transforming lives and the health of our communities. I'm Christine Bellino. Join me and my guest, Dr. Matt Anderson, for the latest edition of Conversations on the State of Healthcare, produced in partnership with the North Carolina Healthcare Association. And for more information, listen to our podcast on the North Carolina News Network and visit nchealthcare.org.
From the mountains to the coast, 2.5 million North Carolinians are members of an electric cooperative. Every day, this network of 26 electric co-ops is working together with local members like you to power a brighter future through innovative energy technologies, community support, and enhanced grid reliability. Learn more about our brighter future vision at ncelectriccooperatives.com. North Carolina's electric cooperatives, powering a brighter future.
Think it's too pricey to pursue your interest and earn a degree? Well, if you're a North Carolinian from a household making $80,000 or less, think again. The Next NC Scholarship could cover more than half, if not all, of your tuition and fees at any NC community college or public university. This is money that doesn't have to be repaid. The Next NC Scholarship helps you know what you're getting because it combines federal and state-funded financial aid to form a new, simplified award. We're talking at least $3,000 for community college or $5,000 for a public university, making the cost of education more manageable. The Next NC Scholarship also helps you know where you're going, because you could see how much you could get to pay for the schools you're interested in. So picking the right path for you and your future is now easier than ever. Applying is as simple as filling out the FAFSA. Dig into the details at nextncscholarship.org. The Next NC Scholarship. Know what you're getting, know where you're going.
Elder Abuse Awareness Day is in June, and scams and fraud that target older adults is one of the worst forms of abuse. Learn how to identify, prevent, and report scams with the AARP Fraud Watch Minutes, available for you to view on YouTube. Search AARP North Carolina Minute and look for the AARP North Carolina Fraud Watch Minutes on YouTube. Learn more about this topic and others each week on AARP Without Limits. You can find the latest episodes of AARP Without Limits wherever you listen to your podcast.
Adam Gold here from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, and we want you to swing for the fences this Major League Baseball season with FanDuel, because with Dinger Tuesdays, you can turn dingers into dollars all season long. Bet on your favorite player to rip a moonshot. FanDuel will give you $5 in bonus bets for every homer during that game. That's right, home runs just got even better. FanDuel.com, promo code AGS. FanDuel.com/AGS to get in on all the Dinger Tuesday action. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max bonus $25 per game. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
This is Adam Gold.
There are people out there that just, you must draft a quarterback.
Yeah, why you don't want a quarterback?
Yeah, exactly. What is wrong with you? Oh, you don't want apple pie?
Right.
Come on.
A la mode? No, maybe I like brownies, okay?
I don't want it there.
The temptation.
Yeah, I don't need it. Because I can convince myself, apple's healthy.
Right.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Mike DeCourcy of the Sporting News next hour on some basketball and some other things that Mike and I are both interested in.
Nice. It's been a minute.
It has been a minute since Mike has joined us. Right now, it's time for Q&A.
Okay, so I'm going to start off with some hockey because why not? With the Dallas Stars and the Rangers being out. Sorry, I giggled.
Okay, wow.
Sorry, it's
biting.
There's some great fans, and then there's others. Yeah. But what do you believe were the biggest mistakes from the Dallas Stars and the New York Rangers that led to their series ending?
I think if they're not mistakes, they couldn't get production out of players that needed to produce. I mean, if you're like, the difference between the Rangers and Dallas really is depth. The Rangers didn't have depth. Now, had Philip Hedl been healthy all year, they would have had more depth because Hedl is a dynamite player, but he didn't play all year. And the injury that he had, which I believe was a concussion, that kept him out for 70-some-odd games. And he missed a lot of the playoffs, too. He just wasn't the same player. So, to me, the Rangers had, 3 players offensively that produced? Artemi Panarin, who did have a goal in the game, right? The extra attacker goal.
Yeah. Otherwise non-existent.
Yeah, didn't have a point. Was nowhere in the series. Actually, I think he had a couple of points, but he didn't have any goals. He was nothing in the series.
Not enough for him.
The power play went away, and they were power play dependent all year anyway. The bottom line is it really isn't about the Rangers. I think it might be a little bit about Dallas, but it's not about the Rangers. It was about Florida, which, I mean, if you just watched the games and listened on ESPN and ABC,
right,
you would have believed it was all about the Rangers, but it's not. It was about Florida. In the Dallas-Edmonton series, Dallas just didn't get enough of their guys to contribute. Their best players needed to be their best players, and they just weren't. That was the biggest deal for me.
All right, so last one about hockey, at least for a little while. What do you think both teams, in your opinion, need to work on in their offseason, Stars and the Rangers, since they're knocked out?
I mean, I don't know what you work on if you're Dallas. They have some free agents. Matt Duchene is a free agent. Joe Pavelski is a free agent. I know that. For the Rangers, honestly, they need to get some of their better guys healthy. They need to get Philip Hedl healthy. They have $11 million in cap space, and they're not in terrible shape in terms of that. I think Rangers will be fine. Dallas is going to have to deal with how much you pay some of the guys who are older but also free agents. Like, do you give Joe Pavelski more than a one-year deal? He's 39. 39. All right. When we come back, some football stuff that we got to talk about wide receiver-wise.
Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
This is Heather O'Reilly, and I am so excited about the soccer schedule this summer. Come see me hit the pitch June 5th through 10th at TST, along with some of the biggest names in soccer, sports, and entertainment. TST will feature 118 matches and 56 teams competing for $1 million at WakeMed Soccer Park. Tickets start at $38 and are selling fast. Visit thetournament.com/soccer while they're still available. Following TST, Man City will play Celtic at UNC July 23rd.
Thinking of popping the question? Diamonds Direct has an offer you can't miss. This month only, buy a natural diamond engagement ring of 1 carat plus and receive a free natural 1 carat diamond tennis bracelet valued at $2,000. Imagine giving her the ring of her dreams and her wedding gift all at once. No one provides education, selection, and value like Diamonds Direct. Your chance to get a free tennis bracelet from your friends at Diamonds Direct won't last long. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
And the best artist with the best new scratch-offs, Mr. First Tuesday!
I'm so proud my music is bringing luck and joy to so many people. First, I'd like to thank those who invented the calendar, and to all the First Tuesdays many years ago, and to all scratchers out there. No matter if you use your nail or a coin, we all share the same First Tuesday love. First Tuesday kisses to you all.
New scratch-offs every first Tuesday of the month.
Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
On average, people spend over a third of their life sleeping, yet most sleep disorders go undiagnosed.
I'm Megan Gigling, General Manager of Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sleep struggles left untreated can lead to health problems and have a serious effect on your quality of life. We've served the Triangle for 20 years. Let us help you get the sleep you've been dreaming of.
If you're in need of a sleep study, a knowledgeable doctor, CPAP machine, or supplies, Parkway has you covered. For more information or to schedule an appointment, visit parkwaysleep.com. Sound sleep, sound health.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+. Subject to program terms at dewoutdoors.com and 12/31/24. Void or prohibited.
For a limited time at Circle K, get 3 20-ounce ice cold Mountain Dews for only $5. Only on the Inner Circle app. Do the Dew.
Get bonus days to save during Window Nation's semi-annual sale now through June 30th. Get 50% off all windows along with no interest for 5 years, plus a bonus 10% savings when you schedule an estimate at 866-90-NATION or windownation.com.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
He scores! What a comeback!
Visit GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Lundell got it across. They score! What a pass by Anton Lundell. 2-0.
It's the depth of the Florida Panthers. It's going to be Vladimir Tarasenko. What a time for him to break through.
They're on their feet as Lundell feathers it into the Ranger zone. 10 seconds left. Sabanachat fires it ahead. It deflects into the Florida zone. Mikola's going to skate it to the corner and try to eat it. 2-1, and the Panthers are going back to the Stanley Cup final.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. We're going to talk NFL wide receivers here in a second. First, update from Greenville. Pirates batting top of the 3rd inning and trailing Evansville 2-0. Home run in the first for the Aces, a walk, a wild pitch, I think an infield single and an error has brought another run in. So Pirates have some work to do early in the game, but trailing 2-0. Winner goes on to Knoxville to take on top-seeded Tennessee. Loser is out. Also, college baseball, the tournament that brings us, or this is the sport that brings us the hidden ball trick. I've been watching Major League Baseball since I was like 4. I think I've seen the hidden ball trick twice work in the history of Major League Baseball. Just like, have you seen where a right-handed pitcher will like fake a throw to third and then wield and try to throw to first?
Right.
That never works.
No.
Ever works. And you still see people try it. I've never seen it work because, like, that stuff doesn't work on big leaguers. But I see the hidden ball trick work a lot in college baseball, and it blows me away. It blows me away. So this is what happened. It was Clemson and Coastal Carolina. Coastal's got a runner on third. I don't know how many outs there were. And the third baseman has got the ball like somewhere around the pitcher's mound, and the pitcher is walking back toward the mound. And they sort of exchange the ball with their gloves only. They don't exchange the ball. The third baseman keeps it. And he goes back to his position, and the pitcher goes back and wanders beyond the mound. Because if you don't have the ball and you go to the top of the mound, that's a balk. And all runners will advance one base. So the third base coach and the base runner at third aren't paying attention, and the runner takes his lead. The pitcher is not even on the pitching dirt yet, let alone on top of the mound. And actually, it might even be the rule where you have to be, if you go into the pitching circle, which they call that in softball but not baseball, that might be the rule, that you can't be there without the ball. Either way, he's on the grass. Stay on the base.
Right. What are we
You
doing?
can't do anything anyway.
No.
Stay on the base. You got the third base coach and the base runner at third, and they fell for it. And I saw social media going, that's cheap. I'm like, that ain't cheap. That's dumb. Don't be dumb. Be a smart baseball player. Don't fall for this crap. But hey, credit to Clemson for pulling it off.
Yeah.
And for even giving it a shot. I've seen a straight steal of home in the college baseball tournament where a pitcher was kind of like just not paying attention.
Yeah.
Right? Got his head down, but that was a lot longer than that. The entire team wasn't paying attention. Guy just took off from third, beat the throw easily. College baseball, where we see these things.
Oh, boy.
Pay attention, kids.
Yeah.
Pay attention. All right, come on, East Carolina. Let's get moving here. All right, so I wanted to do this at the top, but we ran out of time. Take 2 on the news of the day. Minnesota Vikings have made Justin Jefferson the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. Yes. 4 years, $140 million, $110 million of it guaranteed. So it works out to a $35 million annual cap hit. I'm sure that is adjusted, 1 year to the next based on bonus money paid out, how much of the contract is front-loaded, back-loaded, all things like that. He played 10 games last year. He had an injury-plagued 4th season, but it was the first time he'd ever been hurt. He'd played every game the first 3 years. And in the last 2 full seasons, both 17-game seasons, 236 catches in 34 games. I think it was 18 touchdowns, 10 one year, 8 the next. Which all of this should make CeeDee Lamb very happy.
Yes.
Because he is the next wide receiver to go to the window. Now, he's not going to get Justin Jefferson's money, but he should be very happy slotting in right behind him. T. Higgins should also be happy because not only do you have Justin Jefferson, but Jalen Waddle got paid.
Oh, yeah,
he secured the bag, as the kids say, late last week. So it brings to mind this, and we'll get to the Cowboys element here in a second. It brings to mind this, and I brought this up last week. The Miami Dolphins have paid Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. And while the salary, they don't have to worry about it this year because Tua's contract is already baked in at $23 million in terms of the salary cap because it's his fifth year. And the cap number for Waddle this year is very low. It's under $10 million. Next year, between Hill and Waddle, the cap hit is about $54 million. And looking at next year's number, the Dolphins are already about $3.5 million over the cap, and that does not include Tua because he doesn't have a contract for next year.
The guy who has to throw them the ball.
We talked about this last week. I think there is like a 0.5% chance that their quarterback is Tua Tagovailoa next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless
they pay him in, like, snacks.
I mean, maybe he likes Little Debbie's like his old football coach did.
Maybe.
Nick Saban apparently has a Little Debbie's snack every day.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. I don't get it.
That's,
yeah.
It's risky. Sugar doesn't like that.
I don't know. It worked fine for him.
I guess so.
Right? He's still in
Does
good
he
shape.
Run every day too?
I don't know. He must work out a lot. So I just don't see how the Dolphins are going to work it out. Now you could do one player like that. Like I think Minnesota's fine paying Justin Jefferson like that, but also who's Minnesota's quarterback this year? It's a rookie. Now they brought in I think Sam Darnold.
Oh, boy.
But their quarterback of choice is a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to have 4 years of dirt cheap quarterback, theoretically, if everything works out. So they can afford to have Justin Jefferson making this amount of money. I actually asked Ryan Wilson, our friend from CBS Sports, about this.
Yeah.
Because he actually has checked this out.
Mm-hmm.
And of the top 9, I want to get the exact thing that he said to me.
I mean, he is Mr. Mock Draft, so I am curious what he would think.
He said he was thinking about this last week. When you look at the teams which have the highest percentage of their cap devoted to wide receivers, Miami is number 1.
Oh.
And that's this year. That number goes up next year. And it goes up even further the year after, where Tyreek Hill counts about $55 million against the cap.
Wow.
I don't know.
What?
I'm sure that number can be extensioned down, okay? That there's no way they're going into a season with a salary cap hit of that. But of the next 9 teams after Miami, meaning in the top 10, only the Bengals are paying their quarterback big money. Wow. All of the other teams are either with rookie quarterbacks or quarterbacks on veteran quarterbacks on pretty decent deals like Baker Mayfield or Geno Smith.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So,
interesting.
If you are the Dolphins, if you are Tua,
mm-hmm.
Now, I just don't think the Dolphins are really privately on board with Tua. I don't think they are. Sort of like the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys like Dak. But I'm not sure they love Dak.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why they haven't signed him again.
Exactly.
That's what I think. All right, and by the way, the next year's the Cowboys will have, or the Dolphins again will have about $54 million tied up in Hill and Waddle. And again, they're already over the cap without Tua. The Cowboys have to decide on CeeDee Lamb's contract as well as Dak Prescott and going forward. All right, when we come back, I'm going to draw this analogy, and I don't want you to go bananas here because I have a point to it. Caitlin Clark is the Tiger Woods of the WNBA. I will explain what I mean by that. It's not what you think. Next.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
We're jamming your June with championships. The NBA Finals.
The Celtics have finished the sweep. They rally again, and it's on to the NBA Finals.
The Stanley Cup Finals.
Reinhardt scores! The Panthers win Game 4.
The U.S. Open.
Payne Stewart is the 1999 U.S. Open champion. Oh, my.
Catch every winning moment with us. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Adam Gold from my man, Coach Pete Deruta, Capital Financial Advisory Group in Apex. And here's a popular question that Coach Pete gets, and he is the retirement planning specialist. What is the ideal time to start planning for retirement? The answers are yesterday, or today, or 2 years ago. That's when you're supposed to start, because you never know when you're going to decide, you know what, I've had enough. And when you have decided that, you want to make sure you have enough to do whatever it is you want to do in retirement. So Coach Pete Deruta, the retirement planning guru and Capital Financial Advisory Group in Apex, are here for you. 888-843-0013. Text Adam to 600-700, and we are going to get you one of Coach Pete's total customized retirement plans, a $1,000 value for other people, but because you called 888-843-0013 or texted Adam to 600-700 right now, you get it for free. Capital Financial Advisory Group and Coach Pete Deruta. Call today.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
It's bow time. Listen up, because we've got some big news to share. You might want to sit down for this. Bow Sauce is back at Bojangles. If you think you missed it, just imagine how our Supremes must have felt. Because there's no better sauce to pair with our crispy golden chicken Supremes. They're already boldly seasoned to perfection, but add Bow Sauce and you can taste a truly legendary combination that will make you want to yell, "It's bow time." So don't wait. Grab a Supreme and dip into some Bow Sauce. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing to satisfy your craving for flavor with a Bojangles Chicken Supremes dinner. Choose a 3-piece or 4-piece Supremes dinner. Get your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea. And don't forget the sauce for dipping, because Bow Sauce is back. That's right, Bow Sauce is back. Hungry for flavor and value and love the Bow Sauce? Then it's bow time.
Soccer fans, what do Sergio Aguero, J.J. Watt, Ali Krieger, Chris Paul, Corey Lloyd, Pat McAfee, and Wrexham have in common? They're coming to Cary. TST, the soccer tournament, Year 2, Wake Med Soccer Park, this weekend. June 5th through 10th. Tickets on sale at thetournament.com. Last year, sold out. Tickets still available. That's thetournament.com. 118 games, $2 million prizes, a family festival of soccer. TST. Get your tickets now. Thetournament.com.
Want to win a trip to the 84th Annual Sturgis Motorcycle Rally and a custom Harley-Davidson performance bagger? The Law Tigers are giving away the ultimate trip of a lifetime. Go to stylinginsturgis.com to enter. Prizes include VIP stay at Glencoe Camping Resort, custom Harley-Davidson built by Lane Splitter Garage, sound system by Rockford Fosgate, turbo from Trask Performance, parts from J&P Cycles, firearms from Magnum Research, jewelry from Anvil's Cash, and bikes from Soul E-Bikes. Go to stylinginsturgis.com to enter today.
This is Adam Gold.
I got news for you. If I see a hammerhead shark swimming near me in open water,
nope,
we're gone.
Bye.
I'll be on the dock.
I'm done. I've seen Jaws. You can't fool me.
Yeah, I'll be on the dock.
Yeah.
Or in the boat or something. I will not be.
Yeah.
I will not be in open water.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria producing the program. All right, I'm sure there are some of you that thought, wait a second, did Adam really just say Caitlin Clark is the Tiger Woods of the WNBA? I mean, she's not really, she's playing well, but she's not playing great. but it had nothing to do with that. And I'm going to get a friend to come talk about it with us here in just a couple of minutes. So why can I say with a straight face, Caitlin Clark is the Tiger Woods of the WNBA? Let's go back. Well, first, let's point out what happened this weekend, okay? In a game against I think it was the Chicago Sky.
Yes.
A player named Kennedy Carter trucked her.
Right.
Right? This has nothing to do with basketball. She came, it was after a made basket. Clark is about to receive the inbounds pass, and Carter screamed something at her and then came up with almost intending to defend but not, and just shouldered her right to the ground.
Yes.
Which is not the first time she has had physical liberties on the basketball court taken with her during her now 10 games in the league. And by the way, if you think the Fever have played almost every night since the season began like 2.5 weeks ago,
right?
You're right.
They have.
They have played more games than any other team in the league, and they're playing again, I believe, is it tomorrow or something like that?
Yeah.
I don't know. They would have played 11 games in the first 21 days. No other team in the league has played that much. And they're going to be on TV all the time. And you saw what teams have done. They have changed venues. Like teams that normally play in smaller venues know that they can sell a lot more tickets when Caitlin Clark is coming, so they are moving those games to bigger venues.
Okay, so they're getting a break Friday.
Yeah, they don't play until Friday. So
Yeah.
yesterday was the 11th game in 21 days that they played. And yes, they are off all the way until until Friday. That's a huge
long
break.
stretch for
right?
them.
It just seems like, my gosh, didn't they just play?
Yep, they did.
They play basically, well, they have played better than every other day. So here's why I say she's the Tiger Woods of the WNBA. Because when Tiger came out as a pro in 1996, he won his third straight U.S. Amateur and turned pro the next day and played like 7 tournaments in a row at the end of the season to try and earn his PGA Tour card, and he did comfortably. Comfortably, or I think he won twice. Took a while. He didn't win till late, but he won twice. But over the next several years, as Tiger was in year 1, 2, and 3 of his first foray into PGA Tour status, there was a ton of professional jealousy, a ton of it. Players who had established themselves as tour players were not interested at all in talking about Tiger. They were jealous of Tiger, which is what you are seeing in the WNBA. But over time, whether they liked him or not, over time, one thing was absolutely the truth, is that Tiger's presence made the other players a lot of money. Tiger's presence raised purses on the PGA Tour. It raised interest on the PGA Tour to the point where there was an event, a great event in Colorado called the International, which used its Stableford scoring system, which awarded points for birdies and took points away from for bogeys, gave you nothing for a par. And there were great players that played in it. Phil Mickelson played in it. Greg Norman played in it. Those were both past champions of it. But Tiger never did. And because Tiger never did, that tournament eventually went away. And tournament directors on the PGA Tour said there are 2 tours. There's a Tiger Tour, and then there's the other tour. But ultimately, Woods' presence on the PGA Tour raised the amount of money these guys could make. It is not going to be to the same degree, but Caitlin Clark will earn these women who are amazing athletes, she will help earn them a lot more money.
Oh, yeah.
Just playing in the WNBA. Again, it's not on the same level, but to scale, these women will one day look back and say thank you to Caitlin Clark, even as there's video of them knocking her into Friday's game. Mike DeCourcy of the Sporting News, my friend, is joining us now on the Adam Gold Show. So I'm trying to create for people to understand. My son has been texting me this for like 3 weeks now. Why are WNBA players treating Caitlin Clark so poorly? And my only answer to him is they're jealous because she is coming in with all of this attention that maybe they should have gotten, but ultimately they will get it if they just play well. But she is going to earn them a lot of money, no?
Yeah, when I heard you talking about not to the same degree, I think in a sense, I mean, if you want to talk the actual dollars, no, but if you want to talk about percentage,
yeah, I
think that she will actually, in the end, have done more for WNBA players than Tiger did for golfers. Because like on the PGA Tour, you are already playing for significant purses. I mean, I remember back when I was working in Memphis and the FedEx St. Jude was there. I mean, they were playing for the kind of money that people dreamed about,
right?
And that was when Tiger was still playing in the U.S. Amateur. So that they were already. I mean, but if you look at the WNBA, I mean, Caitlin's making $70-some thousand a year. The top WNBA players, the cap I think is around 250. I think is the number. I could be wrong about that. I don't think it's 350, but it's in that ballpark. So, like, by the time Caitlin's done, the money will be much greater, and I think in the end it will be on a percentage basis will be dramatically better than even what Tiger did for the PGA Tour.
Mike DeCourcy of the Sporting News is joining us. Just because I looked it up while you were talking about Memphis. In 1995, the last full season that did not involve Tiger Woods, and Tiger had no bearing on the 96 money, and he probably didn't have a bearing on the 1997 money either, although that was his first full year. That's when he won the Masters. Greg Norman led the PGA Tour money list with $1.65 million in earnings. $1.65 million. Now, that doesn't even qualify you to play on the PGA Tour the following season. You fall well short of playing on the PGA Tour the following season if you made just $1.65 million. That's what that is the explosion, and that we haven't even gotten into the impact that the Public Investment Fund will have going forward. That's another element altogether. But you're probably right in terms of the average salary for 3-year veterans right now in the WNBA is like $75,000. Or that's the minimum salary for 3-year veterans in the WNBA is just about $75,000. I think maybe $77,000. That's obviously very low. I mean, the minimum salary for an NBA player, I think, is closer to $800,000, right? Because the league hasn't generated that. But you saw the Kennedy Carter shoulder, and I didn't mean anything by it. What surprised you the most about that?
Nothing surprised me about it because this is where we've been headed. Look, I wrote in February that the way she was being received by the women's basketball community was antithetical to their own interests. And that at the time, it was other women's basketball coaches primarily, people, including Dawn Staley, who then spent the entire Final Four trying to say, oh, no, she's the greatest thing ever. But she was among the people taking early, side shots, and Gino Auriemma did, and the coach at LSU, Kim Mulkey, did. This has been building for for months, if not longer. And it's just now, the people who were taking the shots before didn't really have a chance to do it physically. But now she's on the floor with WNBA players. And we saw Diana Taurasi take her little shot back around the time of the Final Fours. It's all unnecessary, but I think you summed it up perfectly. There have been a lot of people that have tried to ascribe it to other issues, and I'm not saying none of that exists, but fundamentally it is jealousy. It basically comes down to women's basketball has been great for decades.
Yeah.
I mean, going all the way back to Nancy Lieberman and Lucia Harris. It's been great for decades, but it hasn't been widely followed. It's been followed, but not widely. And now along comes Caitlin Clark, and now it's widely followed, and there's this feeling like, why, where have you been all this time? We never know what is going to cause something to explode. Joe Namath, you could get mad at him for being Joe Namath or whatever, but it took Joe Namath to change the NFL. It took Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. Hey, I watched early 70s NBA. I'm old enough to have done so, and it was great. And I watched Willis Reed in that 1970 game and all that. I mean, it was fantastic. But until Bird and Magic came along, it wasn't as widely followed, and the money wasn't as big. And you could get mad at Larry and Magic, but they changed the game, and Michael kept changing it. You can't get mad at Caitlin Clark because she's the one who brought the hit record. You can only say, okay, now we've got a hit record. What can we build on that?
Mike DeCourcy of the Sporting News is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. I'll tell you what surprised me about that play was that they never reviewed it for like during the game. How do you have three credible officials? And maybe that was my problem right from the beginning. How do you have three officials on the court and not review that at all? They just called it a common foul. Like nobody was paying attention. The ball's being inbounded. It's right there. The ball's right there.
If you saw it enough to call it a common foul, how do you not call it? How do you not at least review it for a flagrant? All of the officials there. They upped it to a flagrant one today,
right?
Which, of course, means almost nothing because in the end, the Fever won anyway. But if it had the impact, I mean, we saw in the Celtics Pacers. I think it was Game 6 or Game 5, whichever was the elimination game.
4.
When T.J. McConnell got absolutely clocked by Jaylen Brown, and they did not call that a flagrant, even after review. That changed the game. And if they'd come back afterward and said, oh, that was a mistake, it doesn't change the game. So this really doesn't mean anything. But what it should have some repercussion for the officials who clearly missed the call and didn't even think enough to review it.
Yeah, I'm curious, where are her teammates in this case? Like somebody should have... A lot of
people have done that, yeah.
Somebody should have come to her defense. So at some level, it is going to take a teammate to step up. And I am not equating the two situations here. It took Pee Wee Reese to help Jackie Robinson back when he was dealing with like enormous amounts of hatred and jealousy. We all know what that was about. And these are not the same situations, but it's going to take a teammate to stand up for her before. And look, nobody wants to see stuff like that, but it's going to take something like that. Mike DeCourcy of the Sporting News. All right, now we've solved the world's problems there. Let me, and you and I both have a great interest in the United States soccer programs, both men's and women's. Emma Hayes had her first match in charge as head coach. It looked pretty good. Of course, she has Mallory Swanson back, Katerina Macario back, which Vlatko didn't have at the World Cup this last summer. But what are your thoughts on the first turn as head coach for Emma Hayes?
Well, I think that that it's great that we finally have all the attacking talents that are available or nearly all, because they don't have Rose Lavelle now, and so that does take away some.
Well,
of the
she came
creative...
off the bench in the game, so that's good.
Yeah, they don't have her at full strength at this point. Although hopefully that comes in time for the Olympics. But when you put all of them out there together, it's funny. The general theme of media discussion, and in some cases player discussion, of the women's program is the world is caught up. No one fears them anymore. It's been nonsense forever, Adam, because the world was never that far behind. I mean, if at all, Germany has been terrific for years. Brazil nearly had the U.S. beat in 2011. Mm-hmm. It's not like they were never. Or you look at the 2019 triumph in France, and they were life and death to beat both England and France in the quarters and semis. They've always been close. It's just now there are more, which is great. There should be more. Now you've got Spain playing at an astonishing level. England has gone from really, really good to great. And so that's terrific. Now there are more contenders. That makes a difference, without a doubt, because you can be gotten by several different nations rather than just, okay, we got to make sure if we play Germany or we play Brazil that we're ready to go. The rest, we just have to pay attention. It's more than that now. It's almost all of them on a given night. Right. If you could play your best and still lose, and that's the difference. But I think when you put all that attacking talent that they have now, Swanson and Smith and Macario and Lavelle and Horan and all those players on the field, it's going to be a lot for anybody to deal with. But I still have my questions about what's right behind it. That's the defensive midfield position was a problem. Yep. When Julie Ertz was injured, and then there was the question of whether she'd play. And then they brought her back, and Vlatko put her in defense.
Right. Because no Becky Sauerbrunn.
Yeah. That was a significant strategic mistake. She wasn't going to be what she'd been 4 years earlier, but she was still way better than anybody else they could have put there. Well, they played Sam Coffey there at the start of Korea. We'll see whether she continues to develop. That's still my concern about them as they go into the Olympics, is that pivot in the midfield, how they play it, and whether you can play one player there or whether you have to reconfigure that and play Lindsey Horan and another player in a sort of a double, what they call a double pivot. One player is back, one player can move forward, or they both play back depending on who they're playing against.
And USA South Korea again, by the way, tomorrow. There'll be another match coming up. And finally, from Mike DeCourcy of the Sporting News, and I always threaten, like, we're going to talk U.S. soccer, and we never do. We always get sidetracked. So we've devoted some time to it. Does the U.S., the men, do we have a right back problem with Serginho Dest and his knee injury unavailable for a summer of soccer, which not only in some cases it wouldn't impact the Olympics, but certainly will impact Copa America. Does the United States have a problem at right back? Because he's really the only player. They've got other guys who can play it, but nobody who can play it the way Serginho Dest does.
Well, yeah, you have to rearrange how you play. But if they do go with Timothy Weah in that position, which he played that a lot over in Italy in the past year, so it's not like a total readjustment for him. He's played there a lot, and Timothy Weah has speed. He has tremendous speed. He may not be quite as dexterous with the ball as Dest is, but he has tremendous speed and would cause real problems for the opposition with his ability to get forward. So I think that's what you ultimately should do, is because you don't really have an answer defensively at that spot. You are already giving up some defensively with Dest.
Sure.
Although you say that, and you can count on the number on very few fingers the number of times Dest's alleged lack of defensive ability cost the U.S. It just didn't ever really come up that much. But I think you can feel like if you can put pressure on the opposition by using Weah in that spot, that allows you to get more players onto the field. It allows you to play the MMA midfield with Musa McKinney and
Right.
Adams, and then allows you to bring both Reyna and Pulisic into the forward line. You've got a wealth for a change of striker options, which they haven't had in forever. So they've got a lot of assets in the attack, not quite USWNT level assets, but still quite a few assets in the attack. And I think Weah can feed into that playing from the right back.
Will you come back and talk Copa America with me?
Oh, I'd love to.
All right.
Absolutely.
It's coming up in just 3 weeks. We're less than 3 weeks away from the start of Copa. We got the Euros and Copa America. Man, for soccer fans, this is an incredible summer. And we have the soccer tournament, which starts on Wednesday here, the 7v7, which is one of the greatest events I've ever been to. You should come next year for this, by the way.
Enjoy.
No, you should definitely be here for this next year. I'm telling you.
I'll shoot for that.
You've got family here. Come hang out here for a week and enjoy it because you'll have a blast. Mike, thank you very much. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
You got it. Mike DeCourcy of the Sporting News. I put a lot of pressure on him just now, didn't I?
That's okay.
Like I need him to come here and see it in person to go, wow, this is amazing.
Well, you know what you're talking
about. It is a festival. Wednesday it starts quite early, too. I think the first match is 8 o'clock. On Wednesday over at Wake Med Soccer Bowl.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is early.
It is absolutely early. All right. I'm fired up for the women. I think the U.S. women are going to be dynamite. Again, we had Heather O'Reilly in studio. We talked about, we don't want to make it sound like the rest of the world has passed the U.S., but they are no longer the clear-cut favorites. A lot of that had to do with a couple of top players not being available due to health, and it was nice to see them back this weekend for the women's national team. Macario and Swanson are just awesome players. All right, we'll break. We'll come back. We'll stretch, and we will place bets. Wait a second. What are we going to bet on?
I know.
Do we have no hockey? We have no NBA basketball?
So depressing.
Oh, we'll find stuff. Next.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Did you know Medicare fraud is costing us $68 billion a year? The NC Department of Insurance Senior Medical Patrol Program's goal is to reduce Medicare fraud, waste, and abuse. If you suspect any billing or Medicare fraud issues, we're here to help. Contact SMP today at ncshIIP.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
Trust ACT Construction Equipment and Avant Articulated Loaders for the right equipment to help get your work done. Avant makes the most multifunctional loaders in the world. Whether you're a landscaping pro or homeowner serious about property maintenance, you need an Avant loader. ACT Construction Equipment is your authorized Avant dealer for sales, service, part, and rentals. Visit one of our 7 locations or actce.com for more details about Avant Articulated Loaders. ACT Construction Equipment, always the right equipment for the job.
Virtual healthcare is changing the way that traditional medicine is being delivered. Ironically, treating some people from afar is actually increasing access to medical health. Dr. Matt Anderson is with Charlotte-based Advocate Health, a member of the North Carolina Healthcare Association. He says telehealth is enhancing the ability of doctors and nurses to treat more people in better ways.
What we've really tried to do is build out that infrastructure from a virtual standpoint to enable us to better impact the health of our communities in a more convenient, simple, and easy way.
Learn how telehealth methodologies are not only saving people money, but how virtual medicine is transforming lives and the health of our communities. I'm Christine Bellino. Join me and my guest, Dr. Matt Anderson, for the latest edition of Conversations on the State of Healthcare, produced in partnership with the North Carolina Healthcare Association. And for more information, listen to our podcast on the North Carolina News Network and visit nchealthcare.org.
Think it's too pricey to pursue your interest and earn a degree? Well, if you're a North Carolinian from a household making $80,000 or less, think again. The next NC Scholarship could cover more than half, if not all, of your tuition and fees at any NC community college or public university. This is money that doesn't have to be repaid. The next NC Scholarship helps you know what you're getting because it combines federal and state-funded financial aid to form a new, simplified award. We're talking at least $3,000 for community college or $5,000 for a public university, making the cost of education more manageable. The Next NC Scholarship also helps you know where you're going, because you could see how much you could get to pay for the schools you're interested in. So picking the right path for you and your future is now easier than ever. Applying is as simple as filling out the FAFSA. Dig into the details at nextncscholarship.org. The Next NC Scholarship. Know what you're getting, know where you're going.
Elder Abuse Awareness Day is in June, and scams and fraud that target older adults is one of the worst forms of abuse. Learn how to identify, prevent, and report scams with the AARP Fraud Watch Minutes, available for you to view on YouTube. Search AARP North Carolina Minute and look for the AARP North Carolina Fraud Watch Minutes on YouTube. Learn more about this topic and others each week on AARP Without Limits. You can find the latest episodes of AARP Without Limits wherever you listen to your podcasts.
From the mountains to the coast, 2.5 million North Carolinians are members of an electric cooperative. Every day, this network of 26 electric co-ops is working together with local members like you to power a brighter future through innovative energy technologies, community support, and enhanced grid reliability. Learn more about our brighter future vision at ncelectriccooperatives.com. North Carolina's electric cooperatives, powering a brighter future.
This is Adam Gold.
That answer fails on so many levels. Part of me wants to start the answer again and then stop it after each time. Is that a good idea, Victoria?
No.
That's great. Did you do that on purpose?
I did.
You did? All right. At the end, that was brilliant.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Victoria is here. We'll place bets in a little bit. Couple of things I want to get to even before we stretch. First of all, East Carolina and Evansville are 2-2. They are in the top of the fifth inning between East Carolina and Evansville. The Pirates are batting. 2-run single in the third inning brought home the tying runs. And so we got, 5 innings left to play, and we are all square at 2 apiece. Again, Pirates need to win. So does Evansville. This is the elimination game for both. Winner gets to go to Knoxville, Tennessee, and meet up with the top-ranked Volunteers. Carolina and LSU will play tonight starting at 6. Same situation. Winner moves on. I think you get, is it Kansas State that is waiting on the other side? I want to get this correct. Don't want to be wrong about everything today. I might be wrong about everything today. Well, you never know.
I mean, it is Monday. You could always blame it on that, too.
I will do the best. No, it's not. In West Virginia. Get West Virginia. Kansas State and Virginia will play. By the way, 4 ACC teams have already advanced. NC State swept through their region. Virginia and Clemson are there as well. And Florida State, North Carolina looking to make it a 5th ACC team in the Super Regional. Very cool. State gets Georgia. Florida State is waiting on the winner of UConn and Oklahoma. UConn is part of the reason why Duke is done. And Clemson is waiting on the winner of Florida and Oklahoma State, and that will come up later today as well. All right, again, before we stretch, a couple of other things that I wanted to bring up. The first is Dallas Cowboys, longtime Cowboys offensive lineman and one of the best, Larry Allen, passed away. I just saw the story. 52 years old.
Wow, that's young.
Yes, very, very young. Also, today was the funeral, or is, I don't know what the time was, is the funeral for Grayson Murray, former PGA Tour player, Leesville Road High School graduate here in Raleigh.
Also young, 30.
30 years old, who committed suicide about a week ago. So the funeral for him is today. I say this as a bit of promoting in a way. Jacob Slavin is going to join us at 2:15. We recorded that interview before the show.
Lady Jacob.
Lady Bing award winner Jacob Slavin. The reason why we had to record it earlier was because he's going to the funeral today. So Slavin spoke with us a little bit earlier than we normally do stuff. But Jacob Slavin will talk about winning the Lady Bing, and then we're going to talk about getting his friends paid.
Yeah.
Brett Pesce, Brady Shea, Jalen Chatfield.
Lots of them.
We got to pay all of these players, right? All of them. One quick, got a little bit of a loose end to tie up with the WNBA conversation. The WNBA fined Angel Reese, who played at LSU last year, and is another high-profile player coming into the league. They fined her $1,000, and the Chicago Sky, her team, $5,000. Remember, the Sky were involved, or was, I don't know how you say it, was involved in the situation with Kennedy Carter.
Yeah.
That's who she plays for.
Right.
So Carter refused to talk about it after the game. She met the media and refused to address what happened with Caitlin Clark. That in and of itself wasn't a finable offense, refusing to address it. The conduct kind of was, but she did not get fined. They just upgraded the foul from a common foul to a flagrant one. Angel Reese got fined $1,000 for refusing to talk to the media. And the Chicago Sky, as an organization, got fined $5,000 for not essentially making it clear, or like they're not just going to punish the player, they're going to punish the organization as well for not making all players available after the game. So there is an obligation that comes with being in that position. Like, there are players who, if you request, if I wanted to request a Hurricanes player after a game, there has to be a really good reason other than don't feel like it before they can. If I wanted to file a grievance with the league, I could. Regardless. Like, Jacob Slavin is not going to refuse, right?
Right.
But after a game, if I wanted to talk to Jacob Slavin in the locker room and they just say, nope, not happening. If I wanted to, I could go to the league.
Interesting.
But so there is an obligation. So Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky were fined a combined $6,000 for not being compliant with that rule.
And that game was one of 2 wins for the Fever.
They
ended up winning by a point.
Yeah, they did. They hung on and won. Good for them. By the way, that wasn't yesterday. That was like a few days ago. Yesterday, Caitlin Clark was held to 3 points.
Yeah.
Right. Look, it's hard.
It is.
She's playing against
pros,
like the best players in the world. Oh, you know what else is going to help these in terms of earning money? There is a proposed league, a 3-on-3 women's league.
Oh.
That's going to take place opposite the WNBA season. So these women who still can go overseas and play can earn some money.
That'd be fun.
Away from a WNBA court.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's stretch.
Well, another thing that could be fun is some stuff that goes on in June. So every time we start a new month, I like to say what we have to look forward to.
Thank you.
So in the sports world for the month of June, like we were talking about, NBA Finals start this Thursday, June 6th. Then we have the Stanley Cup Finals that start the 8th this Saturday. Way too long for me. In tennis, the French Open runs through June 9th. And golf's 124th U.S. Open is June 13th through the 16th. So,
you know what else this is at Pinehurst? It is the 1,000th official USGA championship.
Ah.
You could actually buy hats with the number 1,000 across them.
Oh, wow.
I thought that looked weird,
It does.
so I didn't get that when I was in Pinehurst for Media Day.
I'm surprised they don't use, like, Roman numerals. Like, it's just...
M.
Yeah, just do that.
Just put the
Why
M
not?
up there.
Yeah.
That would have been much better.
Interesting.
Good point.
Takes up less space. Now, on TV, if you're interested in this, which I'm excited for this, The House of Dragon. Have you watched the Game of Thrones?
No.
Oh, yeah, it's an investment. Takes
Yes.
a lot of time. So, spin-off series, House of Dragon, starts back up on HBO the 16th. This should be good. Also, never seen this show, The Bear, Season 3. Starts
I have
on
not
Netflix.
seen it.
I have not seen that either. And if you like these awards, the Tony Awards will be on the 16th. There's a lot going on the 16th.
Yes.
So that's also Father's Day, I think, too. Yes, it is Father's Day because holidays in June, which they call this a holiday, is Father's Day on June 16th. So don't forget, there's a lot of great dads. We got to highlight the good dads out there, too. So there's that also.
U.S. Open Sunday, always on Father's Day.
Oh, that's a fun little fact. There
Yep.
you go. And then movie-wise, if you want to take your dad out to the movies, there's Bad Boys Ride or Die. That comes out the 5th. Inside and Out 2. That comes out. Also A Quiet Place, because we need more quiet movies. Why
So
are we doing I don't know why.
There is anotthat Bad Boys movie. Will
Yes,
Smith and
because we need more. We need more of
so
those.
that explains the commercials.
Yeah, that is why you see those commercials. And last but not least, I thought this was interesting. So AI is taking over everything. We're going to have
Yes.
robots before you know it. One thing that they are doing with grocery stores is coming up with an AI Instacart now. So how this works is it's supposed to be helpful for you. So they've made this up back in 2019. And what this entails is this shopping cart has a touch screen to keep track of your shopping list. It will also scale the vegetables that you put in there so it can weigh those. It also has a scanner that automatically tracks what you're buying and will add it up. So when you're done, the cashier, if there is one, because we've all been to plenty stores where there's not even a cashier,
right.
It doesn't even have to ring up anything because it's already done for you in the cart. So it's quicker, I guess, that way. Who knows? But this company has these carts and spent $350 million in the same year to make these things. So
that's a lot.
a reporter in New York tried it out one day, and their kind of idea of it was it's a little bulkier and harder to maneuver than a normal shopping cart. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. I wonder if they have squeaky wheels like the ones that we have around here. Will AI fix that for us?
I like
don't
the
know.
small. I don't want a big shopping cart.
No,
I want a
don't
small
like,
one.
Yeah, I don't like the big shopping carts.
And I hate the fact that we only have like 5 small shopping carts.
I know.
Give me more.
And I don't want my shopping cart judging my choices either. Can we not do that? So yeah.
I got my son for that.
Yeah, exactly. So
Why are you
I
getting
don't
that
know.
then?
Maybe
I
they'll
don't
judge
want
us for our bets. That
Maybe.
Place your bets. Here we are. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you nothing.
All right, real quick, over the weekend, I based on our friend Sankar
Yeah.
from Friday, who told us that Canada was good. I went Canada over the United States in the first match of the World Cup of Cricket, and plus 188, and everything was great until Aaron Jones of the United States went bananas.
Oh no.
And went for 10 sixes, which is like 10 leave the yard home runs.
Ooh.
And the United States rallied to beat Canada in a very high-scoring match. So I'm mad that I lost,
USA.
but happy that the Americans won. So I'm
Exactly.
sorry for indulging. Go ahead.
Oh, no, it's fine. So there's no hockey. So I have to go to the baseball mound, especially because the Cubs aren't playing, so they can give me a break from losing all the time. Looking at Milwaukee Brewers, they're going to be in Philly taking on, Philadelphia taking on the Phillies. I think the Phillies are going to come out with a win, and I could see it being high scoring. So that is Phillies taking the over 8.5 plus 197.
All right, Gunnar Henderson for the Orioles. Anytime home run today in Toronto, plus 450.
Ooh,
He's a hell of a player, man.
Oh, nice.
Hell of a player.
Nice. Well, and your Mets and Nationals, got to go with the Nationals. Give me that in the under 8. It's plus 207.
The Mets are so bad. Why would you ever take the Mets? All right, can we buy Carolina a win?
Yeah.
All right, take LSU at plus 145 today at home at Chapel Hill. so we get Carolina in because I'll lose. So that's the whole never mind.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. And even though the NBA playoffs are on a little bit of a pause, it's not too late to get in on the finals action with FanDuel, because right now new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 to use on same-game parlays, live betting, championship futures, so much more. No better place to bet all the playoff action than America's #1 sportsbook, and that is FanDuel. Go to FanDuel.com/AdamGold to get started. FanDuel is the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Must be 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus is issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through HIMS, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Sanja loves to bathe, but her feet, they were throbbing. Then one day, I found a solution. Arch supports from the Good Feet store. Have foot pain? Good Feet could help.
You too can live the life you love with Arch supports from the Good Feet store.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free from credit cards, car loan, and personal loans. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value is way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
This is Heather O'Reilly, and I am so excited about the soccer schedule this summer. Come see me hit the pitch June 5th through 10th at TST, along with some of the biggest names in soccer, sports, and entertainment. TST will feature 118 matches and 56 teams competing for $1 million at WakeMed Soccer Park. Tickets start at $38 and are selling fast. Visit thetournament.com/soccer while they're still available. Following TST, Man City will play Celtic at UNC July 23rd.
Everyone's trying to become more streamlined these days, so why not you? Adam Gold here from my friends at Travers LASIK and Dr. Lori Travers, the Triangle's only LASIK specialist, and this is your chance to become more efficient. If you are a contact lens or glasses wearer, get rid of them. Plus, Travers LASIK is offering $1,000 off right now and 0% financing for qualified customers. Go to TraversLASIK.com. The consultation is free. 919-510-6830 for Travers LASIK.
This hour of buzzer-beating, nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat sports action on 99.9 The Fan is powered by
Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Visit GotBryan.com.
That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
You're listening to The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Amen. With a deep drive to right field. If it's there, it's gone. It's a fair ball. It's 3-1 NC State as Makarevich reaches the 20-home run plateau. Here's the pitch from Smith. Called strike 3. Super Regional on the way for NC State.
And East Carolina might be headed there as well. 5-2 now. Pirates on top of Evansville, still top of the fifth inning. So East Carolina, after spotting the Aces, a lot of purple, by the way, on the field for that, because they are the purple Aces of Evansville. After spotting them, a 2-0 lead. The Pirates have roared back 2 in the third, 3 more in the fifth, and they lead it 5-2. Winner gets to go to Knoxville, take on the top-seeded Volunteers of Tennessee. Coming up in just a little bit, Jacob Slavin will join us, the Lady Bing Trophy winner for the second time in his career. He didn't even have to have a year where he committed no physical penalties this year. When he won it a few years ago, he had only one penalty that season, and it was for a delay of game puck over glass. That's it.
Well, there you go. Him and Sam Bennett are not the same.
No, they're not. Sam Bennett, not a candidate
No.
for the Lady Bing Trophy, but a player you would love to have on your team.
True.
And he's starting to have his offense get back.
Mm-hmm.
Florida's fun to watch. They are super fun to watch. It's going to be a great series. When we finally get to it Saturday, It is going to be a great series. All right, Wall of Sound time.
The Wall of Sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
Spent some time talking about it, so why not let you hear from it, the Caitlin Clark situation with Kennedy Carter. This, I think, came from either Friday night or Saturday in the WNBA. But after a made basket, Clark is getting ready to take an inbounds pass from underneath the basket. Somebody's going to pass it to her. This is a routine occurrence in every basketball game. Made basket. We're not talking about a press situation, nothing like that. And Clark's about to receive the inbound pass. Kennedy Carter plays for the Chicago Sky, came up from behind her, screamed something at her, and then just gave her a roundhouse shoulder to the side. Didn't hit her in the head, didn't do anything like that. But, I mean, there was no basketball intent other than to knock her down.
Yeah.
And she did. There you go. Here's Caitlin Clark on the physical foul.
We saw the play in the third quarter where Carter kind of decked you.
Mm-hmm.
How do you respond to that and stay within yourself when maybe you weren't expecting that?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it, but I think it's just like, just respond, come down, let your play do the talking. It is what it is. It's a physical game. Go make the free throw and then execute on offense. And I feel like that's kind of what we did, but, you know, it is what it is, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I will give her a lot of credit. She doesn't bash anyone. Like, even when people are in the wrong, she still kind of owns it and is like, yeah, it's just basketball.
But that's not just basketball.
No, it's not. She shouldn't have to own that one.
And it shouldn't be. It's a physical game, right? She's in a very difficult spot because it's obvious. This is not the first time. It might be the first time something like that has happened. Okay? A lot of the stuff she's dealt with are basketball plays. Maybe a little extra, but they're basketball plays. There was nothing basketball play about this.
No, it was malicious.
So what she's dealing with is, and we talked about this with Mike DeCourcy last hour, it's entirely about jealousy. She comes into the league. She was the best player in college basketball a year ago. She wasn't the only great player, but she was the best player. And she was also the player that drew the most attention nationally. Just look at the television ratings for women's basketball in college. She is part of the most watched games all last year, and they were historically watched. The same thing is happening in the WNBA, by the way. So there is a jealousy factor at work. And this is why I said that there is an element of Tiger Woods at play here, because when Woods came on the PGA Tour, he was getting all the attention even before he won the Masters. Like, he had a press conference when he turned pro. A press conference at the event where he turned pro. Because it was that big a deal. He was a 3-time U.S. Amateur champion. He was coming in with all of the hype and none of the accomplishments as a pro. And the pros had to deal with it. And if you know anything about professional golfers, they are petty. And they don't want to answer questions about the other guy. Especially when that other guy is drawing so much attention. But ultimately, over time, Tiger Woods made them a ton of money.
Yeah.
To a lesser extent, albeit maybe even on a larger scale, Caitlin Clark's going to make these women a lot of money. Because the more interest there is, the more salaries will rise, the more opportunities will present themselves for women. But for these players, and they're amazing players, they'll eventually get it. They'll eventually get over the jealousy. Right now, no. Kennedy Carter on the play.
Kennedy, on the play before bumping in with Caitlin, it seemed like she turned to you a little bit after the fever
I
score.
didn't answer no Caitlin Clark questions.
Did she say anything to you?
I don't know what she said.
What'd you say to her?
I didn't say anything. That's enough.
Well, I mean, that's a lie, but that's fine.
Right.
A lot of times you'll say stuff on the court and not remember saying it because you're honestly just in the throes of playing. So I don't even care. And I don't even care that she won't address it. I wouldn't address it either if I were her.
Yeah, because she's in the wrong.
What is she going to say?
Yeah.
What is she going to say? Yeah, I shouldered her down because I'm pissed that she's getting all this attention and I'm not.
Exactly.
Well, that's the only legitimate things to say. Monica McNutt of ESPN on the players.
This conversation is quite nauseating at this point because it is absolutely, hey, Rook, welcome to this league. Like, the only special treatment are all, granted, I'll give her credit, the new eyeballs that she's brought to this league that want to see her be treated like a ballerina, but that's not it, y'all. And I think to act as if Caitlin is not a competitor and as if she don't be craftily figuring out ways to get her shots in, like, what are we talking about? And so I think this conversation is, in my mind, teetering heavily on disrespecting the game, both Caitlin's individual game, in my mind, and the rest of these women in the league. Because competition, y'all, when has that ever looked like a Broadway performance? You're competing.
There's a little bit of that I'm kind of upset with.
Yeah.
Because two things can be true at the same time, right? In one case, as a player, you can deal with, hey, rookie, it ain't going to be so easy here. That's one thing. And I don't think anybody is really complaining about that. I mean, the Fever might be complaining about it.
Sure.
Because they might see Caitlin Clark being treated rough physically.
A little bit of hazing's one thing.
But honestly, that stuff she is going to have to deal with. But there's a line to cross.
Yeah.
And again, I didn't hear all of that interview, so maybe Monica did get to it. But it's pretty simple that what Kennedy Carter did is unacceptable. The fact that was not called a flagrant foul on the court, if you called the foul and didn't call that a flagrant, I don't even understand that.
They didn't even review it.
No,
right?
No review. No review on the court. They just called it a common foul, whatever. So, again, two things can be true. One, there can be some stuff that, look, these are competitive women, and it's going to be different for Caitlin Clark, and there's not going to be anything given to her. That is fair, and honestly, it shouldn't be any other way.
Yeah.
But then there's this.
There's a line.
This is the line. All right, now, to some humanity in sports. The PGA Tour's most recent stop this past weekend was at the Canadian Open, which is a long-standing event. Used to be a much bigger deal than it is today. It's still a good event on the PGA Tour, but it used to be really one of the highlights of the PGA Tour schedule. Tiger Woods has played in it a bunch. And you could argue that the greatest shot that Tiger Woods has ever hit was hit at the Canadian Open. We don't have to get into the details of it, but golf fans will remember. It's not quite the same event as it used to be. It's not one of those elevated events, but it's still a good event. And Robert McIntyre is a PGA Tour player who is from Scotland. Played it this week, and on Sunday, I don't even know why just on Sunday. I think it was just Sunday. His dad was his caddy, and Robert McIntyre won the event. So I think Amanda Balionis asked the question yesterday on CBS, is Dad on the bag for the next 3 weeks, which would include, by the way, the Memorial, which is a great event next week in Ohio, and the U.S. Open. Is Dad carrying?
Just one last question. You've now played yourself into the Memorial, into the U.S. Open, into Travelers. Is Dad hired on the bag for the next 3 big weeks?
No, Dad's on the flight home on Monday, and I think me and my girlfriend might go home on Monday as well and just have a hella party back home, because this is incredible. The whole support I've had from Scotland, but mainly my family, my coaches, my girlfriend. I honestly can't believe this.
That was quite emotional.
His what friend? His girlfriend. I got it now. I'm like, what?
I think there were subtitles on television.
I know.
And here's McIntyre's dad on the experience.
Dad, it looks like you're taking this one all in. What is it like? Elite athlete on your own. You have been so committed to your son's success ever since he showed passion for the game. What's it like to be a part of this moment?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm a grass cutter. No, a caddy.
Sorry.
Oh, a canny. Yeah, honestly, it's unbelievable. I got phoned last Saturday night. He phoned me. I'm sitting on the couch at home, 8 o'clock Saturday night, and I'm like, can I leave my job here? I'm busy at work.
Of course you can.
Aye. 8 o'clock the next morning, I'm on a flight out here, and wow.
Look.
I don't know. He said he's a grass cutter.
Yeah, I don't even know what that means other than he cuts the grass. He might be a course superintendent. I don't know.
Right.
And I don't know what sport he played, because Amanda basically referred to him as an elite athlete. Okay.
Exactly.
He's an elite grass cutter.
Yeah.
I don't know. When he mows the lawn, he does it.
It's elite.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
lines are sharp.
Perfect.
Directions are going in the I don't know.
90-degree angles everywhere.
Yeah.
But that was very cool to see, and he will not be on the bag on Father's Day.
His son said, nope, he's back on the plane.
At the U.S. Open in 2 weeks. Anyway, very cool. Good for Robert McIntyre, who's a dynamite player. It's his first win on the PGA Tour. All right, when we come back, Jacob Slavin will join us, number 74 for the Hurricanes. We will talk about contracts, but not his. We'll talk about other contracts, but we'll just talk about what it means to him to be the Lady Byng Trophy winner in the NHL. Next.
Serving it up hot and fresh every day. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Sunday nights will be a blast with Major League Baseball.
The 3-2 is hit in the air left field. That one way back, and you can't forget it.
Every long ball, every called strike three, every walk-off will be heard here.
Fly ball, center field, deep and gone.
Sunday Night Baseball on 99.9 The Fan is presented by Newcomb & Company, Mountain Dew, and by Buffalo Brothers.
Adam Gold from my friend Gordon Miller, Miller Lending, Kildare Farm Road in Cary. And let me help you avoid making a mistake. Closing costs. Those are mistakes. Why? Because you don't have to pay them. And it's real money. It's thousands of dollars out of your account that you don't have to pay. The banks figure, we can get more of their money. How about you keep your money? Miller Lending invented the no closing cost mortgage back in 1987. Gordon Miller did this. And then he started Miller Lending. And he brought it to the Triangle in 1996. And I have had 11 mortgages with Miller Lending, have paid $0 in closing costs, and have saved about $50,000 over the course of my mortgage getting life. Because if you pay closing costs, A, thousands of dollars of your own money, and B, you're saying the rates are not dropping in the next 8 years, because that's the break break-even point, the rates have dropped just in the last 3 weeks. Miller Lending on Kildare Farm Road in Cary, an equal housing lender, NMLS ID 250-2146.
It's bow time. Listen up, because we've got some big news to share. You might want to sit down for this. Bow Sauce is back at Bojangles. If you think you missed it, just imagine how our Supremes must have felt. Because there's no better sauce to pair with our crispy golden chicken Supremes. They're already boldly seasoned to perfection, but add Bow Sauce and you can taste a truly legendary combination that will make you want to yell, "It's bow time." So don't wait. Grab a Supreme and dip into some Bow Sauce. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing to satisfy your craving for flavor with a Bojangles Chicken Supremes dinner. Choose a 3-piece or 4-piece Supremes dinner. Get your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea. And don't forget the sauce for dipping, because Bow Sauce is back. That's right, Bow Sauce is back. Hungry for flavor and value and love the Bow Sauce? Then it's bow time.
The NBA playoffs are heating up, and so is the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Teams are knocking on the door of the conference finals, and DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered every step of the way. With same-game parlays, live betting, odds boosts, and so much more. Don't miss out on the NBA postseason as it winds down. And here's something else to sweeten the deal for new customers. Bet $5 and get $200. That's right, $200 in bonus bets instantly. New customers, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD. That's code TIMD with no spaces and get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Deposit and eligibility restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms.
Seasons change. Why not your tech? Upgrade now during the Dell Technologies Summer Sale event and save on select PCs like the XPS 16 powered by Intel Core processors. You'll be able to bring your most intensive projects to life with built-in AI, minimalistic design, immersive visuals, and cinematic audio. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to exceptional tech and electronics plus free shipping on everything. Amazing prices await you for a limited time only at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
This is Adam Gold.
He takes the hat. It was like somebody who works there was wearing a baseball cap. Takes it off the kid's head and puts it on the hostess station. Just takes the hat off this guy and puts it down.
Excuse you?
Like, that's exactly what I went. Like, excuse me?
Right.
Well, what are you doing?
The Adam Gold Show.
We are talking with the most gentlemanly player in the NHL. Twice, by the way. Jacob Slavin, Lady Byng Award winner in the National Hockey League, joins us on the Adam Gold Show. Thank you very much for the time. Do you take it personally if you don't win? That's my curiosity. Does it mean that you're not a gentleman?
I don't know if I would take it personally. But I might have some questions. No, I mean, it's definitely an honor to win it. But I mean, there's a lot of guys in the league that play a hard game, but do it well, if you will. Yeah. And so there's definitely other guys that are definitely deserving of this award as well.
I mean, we know that Ron Francis, somebody you know very well, is a multiple winner of this award. What does it mean to you to be so, honored, so viewed as a guy who is obviously really good? And I mean, personally, I think this is a way of the NHL saying, hey, there are some great players that we need to recognize as great players who just simply do it within the rules and don't get involved in shenanigans. What does it mean to be on that list?
I mean, for myself, I said it last time, 3 years ago, when I won it. But for me, I love this award because I feel like it represents who I am as a person and where my identity lies, and that's in Christ.
Right.
And being a Christian, and so being able to play a game in such a way that is recognized as that, even though some the voters might not be voting for it for that reason, but for me, I know that's why I play the game the way I do, and and trying to play with integrity and character and do it in a way that glorifies God. And so for me, this award means a lot just because of that, and just being able to be a light. Yeah, I know it sounds strange to be, like everyone always says, it's a weird award to win in such a physical game, but for me, it's being a light in a dark place, and just trying to use the abilities God's given me for His glory.
Jacob Slavin is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show, Lady Byng Trophy winner for the second time in his career. Is there another teammate that you feel like is a contender for this award?
I mean, for sure. I mean, there's other guys on our team that play extremely hard, but you never see really taking cheap shots or playing outside the rules. And I think one of them is our captain, and he does it hard night in and night out. But again, he does it in a way that is clean. He's hard to play against, but you never see him getting into too many scrums. Obviously, he's not scared to, but he's a big man that plays a hard physical game, but I always feel like he does it really well.
Yeah, Andre is never going to win this award, right?
Yeah, I don't know if such but that's okay. We don't need every guy on the team to be up for this award.
Yeah, it would be well, first of all, it would be great if just Andre gets it recognized for something. Let me on a hockey sense. Now it feels like it's been forever, but it's only been about 2 weeks. What is have you watched the playoffs? Are you over the exit? Tell me where you are in terms of your hockey brain right now.
I think in terms of my hockey brain, I would say that it's definitely, you think back on it, you're like, oh man, we had such a good team this year. This was a great opportunity to go all the way and to win the cup. And so you look back on that, you're just and you kind of shake your head about on the good opportunity that we had. But I mean, being 2 weeks, being full-time dad, you also always have a good perspective on what's life and what's not, right? And so at the end of the day, hockey is just a game, and I want to win as bad as anybody out there. But you spend 2 weeks with the family and with the kids, and you get over it pretty quickly. But I haven't sat down to watch much hockey, but I do check the scores and see some of the highlights still. And I mean, the final is going to be a great series. It's going to be fun to watch if you do watch it.
No, it's been tremendous hockey. Florida, the funny thing is that watching the Florida Panthers play looks a lot like watching the Carolina Hurricanes play. I don't know if they've copied what you guys do, or Paul Maurice certainly was a very good coach for the Hurricanes twice, but it does seem like they play the same style you guys do. Did you notice that during the course of the year?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even I think they've changed some stuff. I'm not saying they play exactly like us, and they took stuff from us because obviously they do things their way, and they're a really good team and have some high-end talent. But some of their systems, I think, even from last year, changed to being more puck pressure, and they have the talent to do that. And so we're obviously a very high puck pressure team, especially in the D zone, and so, yeah, there's definitely some similarities in the two teams there.
Jacob Slavin is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. Adding to the disappointment of not taking this as far as you guys wanted is obviously the amount of change that could be on the roster next year, and some very good friends of yours might not be around. What have your conversations been like with Brett Pesce or Brady Shea, players like that who, especially Brett, you and Brett basically came up together, separated by a couple of weeks. What have your conversations been like about that?
Yeah, it's been, they love it here, and obviously they want to be back, and it all comes down to this is, at the end of the day, they need to get what they deserve, and you could say both of them deserve a pay raise from where they've been at. And so I hope they're back. I think they hope they're back, and I'm just I look at it at the end of the day, I'm just like, I'm glad that I don't have to be the one that makes those decisions, because I'd be giving everyone 8x8s if that was me, and calling it a good day and saying that I get to keep my friends here, because obviously we have a really good group of guys here, and you want to see everyone do well and provide for their families and be able to make a really long career. And so, yeah, it's hard, but I hope they're back. They hope they're back, and we'll just have to see what happens.
Playing against Vincent Trocheck in the last series. And you and Vincent had the thing, the hug, before going down the tunnel after games. I know Vince went on an all-star break vacation with Brady and Brett, and I think Tony was there too. What is it like playing against somebody that was a good friend? How hard is that to do?
I think there's aspects of it, right? You look across and off the ice, you're like, oh man, that's a good friend. But then once you get on the ice and it's game on, I think the reason we're all here is because we can kind of put those feelings to the side and go out and do the job that needs to be done, right? Doesn't mean there's aspects to it that you're like, ooh, this is even better than playing against someone that you have no idea who you're playing against. And there's other aspects of it. It's just like, oh, I know his tendencies. I know some stuff about him. So it makes it not as fun because you know the type of player he is and how good he is. And then, so I think there's different aspects to it when you look at it. But it definitely is different when you play against guys on a team that were in Carolina that might even know some of our systems and has little tendencies that he does that make it hard to play against.
Yeah, it's funny. I saw like Vince and Sebastian kind of go at it a little bit. I'm like, they know a lot. They know a lot about each other. It might have been more difficult for Vincent because part of his game is to be kind of a pest, and it's harder. It's harder to be that way, to be an agitator when it's against guys that you have so much history with.
Yeah, for sure. I think at the end of the day, off the ice, I'm sure it's all bro hugs and everything, right? But when you're on the ice, and I mean, Troch, like you said, he's good at what he does, and so he knows guys in our team that if you can get under their skin, you might get them off their game, and so he's going to try to do everything you can to get some of our best players off our game. But I mean, obviously, Fishy had a really good series, and so I don't know if it worked all that well against Fish. I mean, that's definitely part of it too, though, is trying to do everything you can in a series to get the top players on the other team off their game.
All right, two more quick things. One hockey, one fun summerish. We'll end with the fun summerish. Jalen Chatfield is somebody I know who looks up to you. He is in the same situation as Brett and Brady, albeit with a lot less history in the league, but I think a ton of upside. What is your sense about what he, is considering in terms of his future?
I think it's the same answer. I know he loves it here. I know he wants to be here. But again, another one of those guys that, I mean, he was making league minimum this year, and so he deserves a significant pay raise. And so obviously I want what's best for him and his family. And personally, I think that's being here. But at the end of the day, God's going to have him where he needs to be, and obviously, again, I hope that's here, but we'll just have to see what happens with his situation.
Yeah, let's get him 8 times 8 too. So when do you get?
I don't because I would do it.
I mean, he's certainly a good player. When does hockey stuff start back up? Before I get to the summer stuff, when does hockey stuff start back up? And who do you work out with in town, or do you just do this on your own?
No, I actually at the practice rink right now calling you. And we're going through. There's a couple guys still here in town, but a lot of them are leaving this week, and then I'll work out here all summer and probably won't get back on the ice until August. Every guy's different, but for myself, I like to stay off the ice as much as I can during the summertime and rest the legs, if you will. And
right.
But no, I'll work out with Roddy's boy Skyler quite a bit this summer because he's here, and
right.
He's an absolute monster in the weight room, just like that.
Shock.
Right. And then Yeah, so there's a couple other guys that stay here in the Raleigh area during the summertime.
All right. Now, finally, you intimated before we started that you're playing golf. So, do you have any golf plans for the summer? What else will be on Jacob Slavin's itinerary for the summer? Now, you already said you're a full-time dad, so you probably got a lot of family stuff planned as well.
Yeah, no, a little bit of golf. My wife graciously gave me a 30th birthday present back when I turned 30 in May, and she got me a day of 36 holes down at Tobacco Road with some of my friends who are coming in from out of town and a couple of local here. So that'll be super fun. And then family vacation with my whole family to Mexico in July. And sounds nice, but it's going to be a little hectic. My little brother just had a baby this morning, and so we'll have a 6-week-old and a 6 other grandkids, all under the age of 5. So it'll be fun, but my parents will have their hands full with all the grandbabies. And outside of that, a couple Christian hockey camps that I help out with, one here in Raleigh, and then one that most of my siblings and I do in Colorado. And so not a whole lot, but it'll be busy.
It sounds like a busy summer, and before you know it, you'll be back on the ice getting ready for training camp. The Lady Jacob Slavin. I don't know why I wanted to throw that in that way, but congratulations on the Lady Bing. You're deserving of a lot of awards. I know that one means a lot to you, so congratulations on that. We'll see you soon. Enjoy your summer. All right, so I'm just trying to think about how hot it's going to be in in Mexico in July. I don't know if he's going to Cancun or not.
Super.
It should be, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, really?
Mm-hmm.
I'd go someplace cooler.
Yeah. That's why I'm going to Chicago over the summer.
Ah, yes.
Because that's the best time to visit Chicago.
Oh, my gosh. How many Cubs games are you checking out?
At least 2.
Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. It's one of the ballparks I have never been, that I would like to go to that I have never been.
Wrigley is so fun. Wrigleyville is fun. And it keeps growing too.
Does it? I'm sure it does.
Oh yeah.
People like to make money.
Yeah. And I'm just gonna have to roll around because of all the pizza I'm gonna eat while I'm there.
They're also good.
I know. It's Chicago dogs. Oh man, I'm so. And I'm not. The whole point was for a concert, but you know.
Oh, who are you going to see?
Chicago. Pantera and Metallica.
Oh, very cool. No,
Yes.
See, I recognize the name of both of those groups, unlike some of the other stuff that you tell me about.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, these are known. These are well known.
Very, very good. All right, thanks to Jacob Slavin. By the way, if you happen to go check that out in the Best of the Adam Gold Show, when I asked him about you should get Chatfield 8x8 too, because he wants to get Shea and Pesci both 8x8.
Right.
8 years, $8 million a year. I believe Slavin said that won't get it done for Chatfield.
Oh, boy.
That's very funny. It would absolutely get it done for Jalen Chatfield.
Right.
But anyway, so that's good. That was very funny. Good for Jacob. I appreciate his time. All right, when we come back, we are going to do stuff we didn't have time for today because I have some stuff that we haven't gotten to, and we will get to that. But there's some other things we need to talk about, including I have a question about the Panthers and Justin Jefferson. No. Justin Jefferson is not coming to the Panthers. There's no connection.
Yeah.
But I have a question. I will ask you this question because you are the Panthers fan here.
Right.
I will ask you the question coming back about Justin Jefferson, sort of, and the Panthers. Next.
Raleigh to Boone, Charlotte to Chapel Hill. Your Carolina is covered. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Adam Gold here for my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, and the NBA playoffs. We are closing in on the finals, but it's not too late to get in on the action with FanDuel because right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 wager. That's $150 to use on same-game parlays, live betting, championship futures, and so much more. Go to FanDuel.com/AGS to get started. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel is the official sports betting partner of the NBA. The finals are upon us, folks. FanDuel's America's #1 sportsbook. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus is issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Trust ACT Construction Equipment and Avant Articulated Loaders for the right equipment to help get your work done. Avant makes the most multifunctional loaders in the world. Whether you're a landscaping pro or homeowner serious about property maintenance, you need an Avant loader. ACT Construction Equipment is your authorized Avant dealer for sales, service, part, and rentals. Visit one of our 7 locations or actce.com for more details about Avant Articulated Loaders. ACT Construction Equipment, always the right equipment for the job.
From the mountains to the coast, 2.5 million North Carolinians are members of an electric cooperative. Every day, this network of 26 electric co-ops is working together with local members like you to power a brighter future through innovative energy technologies, community support, and enhanced grid reliability. Learn more about our brighter future vision at ncelectriccooperatives.com. North Carolina's electric cooperatives, powering a brighter future.
Think it's too pricey to pursue your interest and earn a degree? Well, if you're a North Carolinian from a household making $80,000 or less, think again. The Next NC Scholarship could cover more than half, if not all, of your tuition and fees at any NC community college or public university. This is money that doesn't have to be repaid. The Next NC Scholarship helps you know what you're getting because it combines federal and state-funded financial aid to form a new, simplified award. We're talking at least $3,000 for community college or $5,000 for a public university, making the cost of education more manageable. The Next NC Scholarship also helps you know where you're going because you could see how much you could get to pay for the schools you're interested in. So picking the right path for you and your future is now easier than ever. Applying is as simple as filling out the FAFSA. Dig into the details at nextncscholarship.org. The Next NC Scholarship. Know what you're getting, know where you're going.
Virtual healthcare is changing the way that traditional medicine is being delivered. Ironically, treating some people from afar is actually increasing access to medical health. Dr. Matt Anderson is with Charlotte-based Advocate Health, a member of the North Carolina Healthcare Association. He says telehealth is enhancing the ability of doctors and nurses to treat more people in better ways.
What we've really tried to do is build out that infrastructure from a virtual standpoint to enable us to better impact the health of our communities in a more convenient, simple, and easy way.
Learn how telehealth methodologies are not only saving people money, but how virtual medicine is transforming lives and the health of our communities. I'm Christine Bellino. Join me and my guest, Dr. Matt Anderson, for the latest edition of Conversations on the State of Healthcare, produced in partnership with the North Carolina Healthcare Association. And for more information, listen to our podcast on the North Carolina News Network and visit nchealthcare.org.
This is Adam Gold.
Thank you very much for your time, man. We will talk again.
Adam, anytime for you, my friend.
Thank you. I don't know why it makes me laugh. Why does it make me laugh?
I don't know. Maybe you just are used to people being mean to you or something, like Twitter. I don't know.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's the Adam Gold Show. I am Adam Gold. Bad news in Greenville. Evansville scored one time in the bottom of the fifth and hit a 3-run home run in the last of the sixth inning. And they are in the bottom of the seventh now, and the Aces have a 6-5 lead. So the Pirates have just 6 more outs with which to come up with at least 1 run to extend the game and extend their season. Evansville was the 4th seed there, which means that they're only there because they won their conference tournament. So what are they, Evansville, Missouri Valley, which, I mean, might play good baseball. I really don't know. But Evansville, as the 4th seed in Greenville, are 6 outs away from a trip to Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yikes.
So North Carolina will play LSU later on. Tonight it is I believe, a 6 o'clock start. We talked to Dave Nathan, the play-by-play guy for UNC Baseball on the radio, about that earlier. Maybe that'll come up in the rewind. Oklahoma State will play against Florida today. Oklahoma State is the host team there. Oregon and UC Irvine, UConn, and Oklahoma. UConn is part of the reason why Duke is done. UConn beat Duke in the first game for both. Oklahoma finished the job last night, knocking the Blue Devils out of the college baseball tournament. So UConn and Oklahoma will play for a spot in the Super Regional. But if North Carolina wins tonight, it will be the 5th ACC team to reach the Super Regional round. And I think at least 2 of them. No, 3 of them will host. Clemson will host, Florida State will host, I believe, and UNC would host a Super Regional. Looking for 8 spots in the College World Series. So there's a lot of college baseball going on right now. We got 5 games today. All right, let's rewind. And since we brought it up, let's start with college baseball and UNC. Dave Nathan, who does play-by-play on the radio for the Tar Heels. And because we are now into our 4th day of baseball, it all began Friday. How does UNC's pitching set up, and what scares you about LSU's offense?
Well, the pitching is going to be the great and unknown, maybe up until about 5 o'clock when both coaches have to release their lineups. I was asking about the starting pitching earlier today, and I was told, don't hold your breath. I think everybody's keeping their cards pretty close to their vest. And for Carolina, I think you certainly have more arms available for longer amounts of time than if you're LSU. The question is, do you go to a typical type of starter like maybe Jason DeCaro, who I think threw 65 pitches on Friday against Long Island over the course of 4 innings? Could he come back? Maybe you go to a guy like Ben Peterson, who started the season in the weekend rotation but has been more of a bullpen guy down the stretch. Those would be, I think, the top 2 names that you're considering if you're Coach Forbes and Coach Gaines. And if you're LSU, Gage Jump and Luke Holman, your top 2 studs, are probably out. But does Ackenhausen, who started the Wofford game early yesterday and left after less than an inning, does he come back on short rest? I mean, at the end of the day, both teams have to win for their seasons to go on. Both programs have dreams of getting to Omaha, and one of these teams isn't getting to the Super Regional, so I think you've got to have all hands on deck tonight.
LSU's the defending national champions, worth pointing that out. Got 27 outs to cover. It doesn't make a difference how you do it. 27 outs. Doesn't make a difference where you get them, how you get them. You got to get them. So good luck to the Tar Heels tonight. All right, here's the question I was going to ask you, Victoria. Keep the rewind music up because I like it, even though this is not necessarily part of the rewind. We have more rewind to do. So Justin Jefferson was paid.
A lot.
Right? 4 years, $140 million contract, wide receiver for the Vikings. $110 million of that is guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
He is the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. I'm not going to editorialize why, whatever, but I am just curious. Do the Panthers have anybody on the roster?
No.
You don't even need me to finish the question.
They do not.
It was not going to be who you would think about in those terms.
Right.
Okay, it was not going to be exactly that. But somebody that we have to pay whatever it takes to keep that player. Is there anybody that they have on the roster?
Nope. They gave away CMC.
Yeah,
he was the maybe last person I would have ever thought, but no. We can't bring Steve Smith back.
Julius Peppers is, past his sell-by date.
Yeah, he's done.
Derek Brown is a great player, but Derek Brown's not that player.
Not there yet.
When you see Justin Jefferson, you can make the argument. And I don't want to get into this debate, although maybe we'll do that this week at some point. You can make the argument that he's the best wide receiver in the NFL. So do they have a player? Do the Panthers have a player on the roster who is remotely the best player at their position in the league? And that's the answer, right? The answer is no. As good as Derek Brown is.
Yeah.
And I think Derek Brown's a dynamite player.
Sure. But not.
He's not the best defensive tackle in the NFL. No. They don't have a player like that.
Unfortunately, no.
And yeah, that's like this. They're probably not alone in that regard, right? No. There's a lot of teams that don't have a best player at that position type of a player, but what they don't have is anybody even in the conversation.
No.
And that's where there are two things. The Panthers, obviously, they need to improve their offensive line, improve their offense, and get Bryce Young playing like the first pick in the draft. And then they've got to find those types of players. Because the truth is, go back and look at the teams that win Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
And they have
Travis Kelce.
At least one player, but probably multiple players who are on that short list last year. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to, just randomly, the Rams from a few years ago. Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
Right?
Big time.
A player who is one of those guys. Yeah, the Panthers don't have a player that fits that bill.
Haven't for a while either.
Well,
I mean, Cam was great until he got hurt. He would have
absolutely.
qualified.
So you don't have to go back that far.
Yeah. Greg Olsen, I thought, was a great tight end.
Right before, like the last couple of years, he was hurt a lot.
Yeah.
Right, but only because of the injury.
Right.
Did he drop from that? Yeah, he's one of the best tight ends in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So they did have some of those players, and when they went to that Super Bowl, Cam was absolutely that guy, even though there were many people, even who considered themselves Panthers fans, that didn't want to admit that.
It's crazy.
Which is a problem.
It is.
All right, so back to the rewind. You answered that question before I asked it. No,
just no.
No.
I wish I had the, what was that, Rule or Tepper who said no. I wish I could have had that one ready.
Speaking of Tepper, there are renderings for a new and improved Bank of America Stadium, a renovated Bank of America Stadium that looks very snazzy.
Right. Someone tagged Travis from Charlotte and I on these renovations.
And a little, what I need to know is how much of that will the city of Charlotte and the state of North Carolina be on the hook for?
Exactly.
I'm curious, how much will we have to pay for David Tepper's playground?
And is he actually going to let it happen, or is he going to call it quits halfway through?
That's it all depends on how much the city and state are willing to pay for it.
Right.
For David Tepper's little
project.
Sandbox. Yeah. Anyway, I thought they looked very cool. Little park in front.
I know.
And that's lovely.
He's just setting it up so he could bring more music.
That's right. There is music involved in the release.
Right.
There is mention of music.
Right.
I don't think they referenced that he invented the genre.
Yeah.
But,
well, Nikki Tepper's real proud of what they're doing.
Yes.
So.
We have concerts now.
Yeah, it's great.
All right. So Matt Brown from Extra Points, a great newsletter if you are interested in things that happen in college sports that aren't necessarily between the lines. He joined me, and we talked about the impact of NIL in this decision, the settlement between the NCAA to settle really 3 lawsuits. It's called House versus the NCAA, where athletes will now be paid directly or can be paid directly by the universities. I asked Matt what he thinks the impact will be on NIL.
I do think there's going to be some impact, honestly, and that impact is probably going to differ a little bit from market to market. But the way that most NIL collectives are operating right now, whether you're at Carolina, or Duke or Pitt or, High Point.
Right.
Is you are disproportionately depending on donors to give money that's independent of any commercial activity to either encourage people to stay or encourage people to transfer or join your program. And even from there, they're mostly heavily reliant on a small number of donors per program. And in a place like a really competitive ACC basketball market,
right,
and an SEC football market, some other places, I don't think it matters what the base salary or base stipend from the school is. People are so competitive that they'll give whatever it takes unless there's a CBA that tells them not to.
Right.
But I don't know if that's universal. I don't know if you're going to be able to go to the 8 very rich people at Minnesota and hit them up for money if those football players are making, hypothetically, a base stipend of $100,000 from the school. I think that some of those people will say, I'm not interested in giving there. I'd rather give my money someplace tax deductible. I'd rather give it to a facility or perhaps somewhere in the institution. And if that happens at just a handful of places, that will drive prices for talent down. The NCAA is kind of leaking, although they haven't really come out with the hard and fast concrete updates about how they want to do this yet. But they would like to go after more of these collectives, to regulate this market a little bit more. And depending on what happens in Congress, depending what happens with this lawsuit being enshrined, they might have a little bit more legal wiggle room to actually enforce any of these things. They might not. It's uncertain, which is a long and terrible sports radio way of saying there's so many unknowns.
Right.
I don't think it's going to be completely business as usual. But there's going to be some collectives that still exist.
Here's the best way to put it. The collectives is the advantage that some schools have over the others. If you bring your advantage in-house, it ceases to be an advantage. So why would schools do that? You can directly pay players and have a collective. All right, before we get out of here, we got about 2.5 minutes left, maybe less than that. There are some things we didn't talk about yet.
All the stuff that we didn't have time for, stuff people waiting in line for, stuff you want to hear it, stuff we're about to reveal.
This is my buddy James Dunn. It's Dynamite. You wrote that for us. Because we have to figure out how to get things out that we don't really talk about, don't have time for it. So I referenced this briefly before we placed our bets. Aaron Jones for Team USA in the World Cup of Cricket scored 94 runs on just 40 balls. Those are pitches. I guess that would encompass about 12 overs or something like that, 13 overs. It's a tremendous performance. He had 4 fours, which are balls that leave the field of play but not in the air, and 10 sixes outside of the oval on the fly. Amazing. 94 runs. To put that in perspective, that's more runs than 2 teams scored in a match today.
Oh, wow.
Sri Lanka and South Africa played earlier today, and South Africa won 80-77. There's a different way to say how they won, but 80-77. Aaron Jones had 94 runs by himself. And by the way, USA-Canada was the highest scoring match by a lot that we have seen. We've had 5 matches completed. No upsets yet. So congratulations to the United States for beating Canada. And also over the weekend, I watched the Champions League final where Real Madrid won for the 6th time in the last 11 years. They have 15 Champions League trophies to their credit, by far more than any other club in European soccer. But they have won 6 of the last 11, so that means that in the last 11 years, they have won the Champions League more often than they have not. After they won the Champions League, they announced the signing of Kylian Mbappe, who is probably the best football player in the world. So the question is Real Madrid now unbeatable? And we don't know the answer, but maybe, because he is that guy. He is 25 years old. He is just becoming as as good or better than anybody else in the world of football. The only question is there's one ball. And how do you manage all of those egos that they've got at Real Madrid? But my gosh, did Real Madrid just get better. Thank you, Victoria. See you tomorrow.
Gold Show. Going beyond the box scores. Adam Gold on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Okay, let me tell you about one of my absolute favorite hangout spots. Hey, it's Victoria Vodnecker, and Norse Brewing Company in Wake Forest is a place you need to check out. There's also Norse Brewing Longhouse in Zebulon, which is just as amazing, but both locations offer mouth-watering Southern food, but with a Scandinavian twist. My personal favorite is the loaded beer cheese tots with in-house made seltzers. Yes, they make all of their adult beverages in-house right in front of you. Speaking of the setup, you'll be completely immersed in the Viking vibes with the handmade axe door handles, the wooden interior, the calm lighting. And with the weather getting warmer, there's plenty of space to enjoy this one-of-a-kind menu outside. Whether it's brunch, lunch, dinner, or a nightcap, Norse Brewing Company is a place you'll want to visit, and you